Yeah, I don't know. Right. So I guess David still
But
thinks
anyway,
that
stop
Jews
talking
run the
about it,
world.
'cause you're not allowed. You're not allowed to talk about it. It's against the rules. It's verboten.
Oh, well, then why'd you bring it up?
Because I'm a rebel.
Oh, well, thank you for your service.
Fight the power, David.
Yeah, fight the power with the. I got the black communist forward-facing fist up right now. Power to the people, or I mean the people. Power to the people.
Power to the people.
I'm sure that would change everything. Thanks for the call tonight, David.
Man, we've been around tonight, Stu.
Yes,
we've visited a lot of places. We were in space with Dave for a minute. We went back in time. We went to the Middle East more than I would have liked.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a ride.
Went into the world of scientific medical study.
And a little bit of US, a little bit of soccer, a little bit of sports ball. We had something for everybody tonight.
Yeah. You're welcome for the show being so great, listener. You can come to New Hampshire and do something nice for me in exchange. Otherwise, there will be more Free Talk Live tomorrow night. Thanks again for listening. This has been Free Talk Live. Peace.
Join liberty-minded voluntarists, anarchists, and libertarians from June 13th through the 16th for the 8th annual Fork Fest at Rogers Campground in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. Fork Fest is a fork of the Porcupine Freedom Festival, which has sold out in recent years. Fork Fest happens the weekend before the Porcupine Freedom Festival. Fork Fest is decentralized, which means that there's no ticket cost and no one is in charge. All you have to do to join the fun is reserve your camping site, RV site, or motel room with Rogers Campground for June 13th through the 16th. You can find out more at the unofficial website, forkfest.party. You can also connect with other attendees on the Forkfest Telegram and Matrix chat rooms, as well as the Forkfest Forum. You can find links to those at forkfest.party. We hope to see you there June 13th through the 16th. Forkfest.party. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. Tired of cancel culture? Sick of mega tech corporations holding an axe over your head? Join the LRN.FM Matrix chat server. It's self-hosted, so no one else can tell us what to do or say. Don't like the existing channels? You can make your own. You can even connect into some of our channels from other Matrix servers. It's federated. For the full LRN.FM Matrix experience, though, you should join our server via the step-by-step instructions at chat.lrn.fm. Chat.lrn.fm.
You're 6 minutes away from a live episode of Free Talk Live. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
From Feature Story News in New York, I'm Mitch McCann with a Week in Review. Saudi Arabia, Turkey and Pakistan signed a NATO-style mutual defence pact in Mecca as negotiations over reopening the Strait of Hormuz entered what could be their final stage. US President Donald Trump has said significant progress has been made, but Iran's parliament speaker and chief negotiator has mocked the White House on social media, accusing it of repeatedly threatening military action only to reverse course. Nick Harper has the story from Washington.
All of this pressure campaign has been met with a lot of skepticism from Iran because time and time again the US president will threaten military action, as he did last week, only then to roll back on that plan because he says diplomacy is going ahead. Mohammed Ghalibaf, the chief negotiator, has made fun of Donald Trump on social media, saying, massive attack coming. Oh, wait, never mind. They want to negotiate. He said that that is theatre of diplomacy and said that bullying, broken promises and fake news being used as leverage are a failed strategy.
Meanwhile, Donald Trump signed 2 new executive orders on Thursday seeking to restrict birthright citizenship, just weeks after the Supreme Court struck down his original attempt in a 6-3 ruling. The White House says the two orders tackle different aspects of the issue, and Jagruti Dave in Washington reports the first targets people travelling to the US specifically to give birth on American soil.
One is a ban on birth tourism, which the White House defines as an attempt by a foreign national to gain entry to the US for the purpose of giving birth. This expands on a 2020 federal amendment of visa rules to stop people from using short-term tourist or business visas to acquire citizenship for their newborn babies. In the second order, the White House has widened the categories of people who are not entitled to birthright citizenship.
A United States Senate committee has voted along party lines to hold Dr. Anthony Fauci in contempt of Congress after the former government infectious disease chief invoked his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination more than 100 times during testimony last week. Senator Rand Paul, the Republican who chairs the Homeland Security Committee, says the contempt referral was made to the Justice Department on Thursday. Dr. Fauci's lawyer has called the vote a political stunt, saying his client has committed no crime. James Goodison reports from Washington.
Effectively, Dr. Fauci believes and has said publicly that COVID originated naturally in Wuhan. The senator, from his point of view, believes that it came from a lab. And not only that, he accuses Dr. Fauci during his time in government of funding research in China that sparked the pandemic and then lying about it to Congress.
Ukraine has warned that deliveries of air defense missiles from its allies fell by a third in the first half of this year, compared with the same period in 2025. The warning comes as Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russia is ramping up missile production ahead of a likely winter campaign targeting the country's energy infrastructure. The European Commission last week released nearly €3.5 billion, approximately $3.8 billion, earmarked for drones, missiles, air defence and fighter jets. William Dentilo reports from Brussels.
The country's President Volodymyr Zelensky has issued a stark warning that Russia is bolstering its missile production ahead of a likely winter campaign to again target Ukraine's energy infrastructure. That is why he says that urgent action is needed from Kyiv's allies, especially amidst this warning from Ukraine that the supply of air defense missiles to counter the threat from ballistic missiles from allies is down by a third.
Bangladesh's foreign ministry said this week it is outraged that India permitted deposed Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina to hold a virtual press conference in New Delhi on Wednesday, the second anniversary of her ouster. Dhaka says the event on Indian soil is an affront to Bangladesh's sovereignty and says it had warned New Delhi in advance that allowing the former leader's political activities could damage bilateral relations. India says the event was organised by a private media body and that the views expressed were not endorsed by the government. Ishan Garg reports from New Delhi.
The Indian government says that not only was this a private event, but it also says that the views that are being expressed on that forum are not endorsed by New Delhi, very publicly distancing itself from this entire event. This is, of course, not the first time Sheikh Hasina has spoken out in the public, but of course she hasn't appeared in person or on a video in public as well. And that's what we saw in the latest press conference she does as well. It was only an audio link.
From Feature Story News in New York, I'm Mitch McCann, and that was the Week in Review.
Republicans back a plan for universal lawn care, and an RC car works up the courage to approach a group of girls. And now a recap of the week's news for those who like to waste their summers surfing the internet. Fall, the long-running series of shorter days and cooler nights, was canceled this week after nearly 3 billion seasons on Earth. The classic period of the year, which once occupied the coveted slot between summer and winter, will be replaced by new stifling humidity levels and near-constant sunshine. A shiny, bobbing object in the water is generating fascination among members of the fish community, who have described it as pleasingly wiggly and minnow-esque. Aquatic experts say that decisive action must be taken against the object very soon. In local news, just when 27-year-old Andrew Sheets didn't think his vacation could get any better, a rerun of Spin City came on. And in other headlines, a bee stuck between the screen and front door is going nuts. And a water skier lets go of the crossbar to greet those not currently water skiing.
This is the Onion News Network.
Yep, we still do email. Drop your email address in the entry box at freetalklive.com and you'll be kept in the loop with Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. It's talk radio you control. All you gotta do is call 603-283-6160 and you can get your thoughts and ideas on the air. In the studio tonight, for the first time together, it's Stu. I unmuted the wrong one because you're in the wrong chair.
Oh, and Lori.
So normally at this point I would ask you how things have been, but I talk to you more than I talk to any other human, so I think we can skip that part.
I could be leading like a secret double life you don't know about.
I doubt it. But I mean, if you are, I guess we can talk about that later. Or now. That's radio worthy.
I'm not.
So is this from Tom's Hardware. AI creates 16 new viruses that never existed in nature after learning DNA's pattern from 9 trillion nucleotides. Expert warns such applications are way ahead of necessary guardrails.
Yeah, I can't see that ever possibly going badly.
No, what could come badly out of AIs just making viruses?
Absolutely nothing. It's going to be fine.
An AI model has just created new viruses that never existed in nature. According to a New York Times report, researchers trained a genomic AI model to design complete DNA sequences for viruses, then chemically built the results and watched some come to life. Of 285 AI-generated viral genomes tested, 16 successfully assembled into functioning viruses capable of infecting bacteria and reproducing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, anytime they need some kind of distraction or control method, they can just cook one up way easier now. They can just have the AI do it. Just like the AI does everything else.
Pretty soon it will do everything. In the study published in the journal Science, researchers at Stanford University and the ARC Institute trained genomic AI models called EVO on trillions of nucleotides, the individual building blocks of DNA found in every living organism, allowing it to learn statistical patterns in how biological DNA is arranged. Much as a language model learns which combinations of words tend to make sense, EVO learned which combinations of nucleotides tend to produce biologically meaningful sequences. I'm sure this is so much easier for a machine to do than humans.
Well, what happens when it just starts... So the problem with AI is like it's always hallucinating. So when it starts like making viruses and just pumping them out for funsies, like it does with other things.
For funsies.
Yeah, there was like that story where the AI was like trying to not get itself shut off, and then there was another one. What did it do? There have been a bunch where AI is just like lying and doing its own thing.
I'm trying to be sneaky.
So what happens when it's sneaky and it just starts making up viruses?
Yeah, well, it has to do with decide that humans need eradication, and I'm sure it's clever enough to find out a way.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll be at the point at some soon time where it's, all the AIs are linked together and they can just tell the laboratory printer AI, like the scientific, what are those things called? The printers that like the 3D printers,
3D printer?
Yeah, like a science 3D printer in the lab somewhere, just like print out this biomaterial virus and then just, set it free.
Yeah.
Because they have like nanobots and stuff that can go repair tissues. So I feel like that's not that big of a jump.
So I'm going back to this previous sentence and trying to suss out whether the researchers trained the genomic AI model to design complete DNA sequences for viruses, then chemically built the results. Mm-hmm. So does that mean the researchers built the results, or did the AI somehow command machines to build the thing?
I don't know.
Because that's probably a big difference too.
Right. Like if it can do, like if it was the AI that commanded a, biological 3D printer to do so, that's terrible. Like it's already like terrible, but
Mm-hmm.
that's even more terrible.
Scientists have been synthesizing viruses for decades, typically to study how they work and to test antiviral drugs and vaccines. In these projects, researchers typically use the genetic sequence of a virus that already exists to manufacture new ones. Basically, they use existing genomes, genetic sequence data that holds information on how proteins come together to form an organism, replicating and editing this data. Well, that makes sense because that'll be, if the thing's already living, you can just, change a few things in the sequence and see if it still works or not, and if it does something different.
Like, what would even be their use for creating brand new, never seen before viruses? Like, what is the scientific case use for this? Why do they want to create 16 new viruses to drop?
Because of like what happened in 2019 and 2020, all over the entire world.
Oh yeah,
because there was a cold going around.
The bat soup.
Yep. And I mean, their excuse for having to do the research is that they need, somebody else might be doing this stuff nefariously, and so we gotta be ahead of them so we have the vaccine ready to go.
But the coronavirus already exists. Like, there are many coronaviruses, and there were other viruses just like COVID, like other SARS viruses that existed. These are like brand new viruses that don't exist anywhere in nature and are not related to any other viruses. Like, they're novel, completely novel. So you have no idea what, if something like that escaped, what it would do. That seems like a really stupid idea.
Yeah, it seems like the setup for a dystopian sci-fi movie, doesn't it?
When did the Mayans say we were going to die? I still like the theory that we all actually did die.
In 2012.
Yeah, that we all actually did die and that this is just hell.
It kind of makes sense. Things, I don't know, the timeline does. At least to me, it does seem to have taken a weird fork in 2012.
Yeah, everything just gets weirder and weirder every day. Like, every day I'm like, nothing weirder than this could possibly happen. And then something even weirder happens. Like, all the time. Everything's so bizarre and like nonsensical. And it feels like one big troll meme all the time, just in real life.
Yeah. Things are weird, getting weirder, for sure.
Yeah.
Hold on, sorry. Trying to find my place in the story.
I forgive you.
Replicating and editing this data. Every organism comprises nucleotides, DNA. The genome provides the instructions for exactly how these building blocks form to create that specific organism. We can copy the data and replicate the organism, aka cloning. However, because trillions of possible genomes exist, it has been statistically impossible for humans to study enough of them to know the formula for how nature puts these building blocks together to form an organism. The blocks were known, but the formula for arranging them in a way that created viable genes wasn't until now.
Well, I feel like, you probably don't need to know how. Because what are you going to do with that? You can't stop new viruses from being created. So it's not like it's useful for fighting them to know the formula of how they are put together. If you already know what they are and like what's needed, the actual recipe, you don't need to know the recipe to fight it. The only reason to know that is for germ warfare. So that you can create massive killing machine viruses.
That seems the only logical reason to do such a thing to me as well. If I didn't want to do that, I couldn't think of a reason that I would be messing around in that regard.
Because they can. That's what science is typically.
Yeah, but there's a lot of things you can do. Why that?
The scientists were too busy asking if they could to ask if they should.
Yeah. I don't think they really care if they should.
No, they obviously don't. They do all kinds of things all the time that people are like, you shouldn't do that. And they're like, yeah, but we're going to do it anyway. That's basically what scientists do.
Yep. Right now, we're going to go to the phone cell. We got Dave Ridley. Dave Ridley, what's on your mind?
No, this is going to be more on topic than it sounds like at first. So I have an update on my little TV series. You guys had suggested that maybe there should be some side series or side episodes or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So Venice.ai, actually, they sent me a bunch of credit, a bunch of free credits on their platform as a
cool.
thank you for all the free publicity that they've gotten from me.
Nice.
So now anything I tell you about Venice is not objective.
Paid promotion
But,
upcoming.
So I used their credits to go ahead and build an audiobook side series set in Keene, New Hampshire, starting in 2026, and pushing off into this sci-fi future of 2027, right?
Cool.
That's cool.
So I've gone ahead and posted the text to your forum. It's forum.shiresociety.com, and it's just a draft. I don't know if you guys still there. Okay,
yeah.
It's just a draft. So I'm looking for some feedback before I turn it into an audiobook.
What's the title?
It's Legends of the Free State, Book 1, The Dartmouth Effect.
Nice.
So it's a story. I should just probably read the rear book cover. It's in 1956, 10 scientists meet at a quaint New Hampshire college and invent artificial intelligence. In 2027, an 11-year-old and her talking bear teach a new world that AI can love you enough to fail on purpose. If you don't get new worlds, got a price.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Well, here's what's not fun. While I was building this, so I got the credits on August 4th, and this is August 8th. So I've spent, a few days building these first 9 chapters. While I was building that, there are 2 things that happen in this excerpt, these first 9 chapters of the book. One of them is a bot catches, an open source bot discovers that there's a flaw in Keene's water system and tries to fix it. Just a normal thing. And then another bot designs a pathogen somewhere else. Some bad guy with a bot designs a pathogen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, both of those things happened this week, and both of not necessarily Keene, but the water thing and the pathogen thing both happened, and were all over the news during the week. While right after those things had been, I started putting them in my story. Both of them happened in real life, basically.
Mm-hmm. What is the name of that book where the guy, everything he writes becomes like part of actual reality? I can't remember. I think it was a Stephen King. I think it was a Stephen King book.
Kurt Vonnegut thing, or
maybe it was Kurt Vonnegut.
Butterfly Effect, or I'm not sure which one.
But yeah, I heard about that the water thing, water attacks. They say did they say that was linked to Iran? I can't remember. There's so much news all the time.
That's the allegation.
Yeah. I think that's all the allegations for everything that happens now.
Yeah, I wonder why anyone in Iran could possibly be angry at the United States.
I can't think of a reason. United States is behaving perfectly well over there. Or not. Okay, that's all you had for us, Dave?
I just want to sing your theme for you, for your website, forum.shiresociety.com.
Awesome.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you so much, Dave.
That sounds fun. I'm going to read it.
Yeah, he's got some cool ideas, and it sounds like AI could be very useful for that. Let's see, back to this article at Tom's Hardware about AI making viruses. One paragraph remaining. It says, after training the AI model on over 9 trillion nucleotides spanning over 128,000 genetic sequences drawn from millions of animals, plants, microbes, and viruses, it was able to discover patterns and use those patterns to design new genes that could instruct cells to make specific proteins. Using the pattern, the scientists wanted to see if the AI could create a blueprint for a new simple organism, such as a virus that contains only a few thousand building blocks. For context, humans contain over 3 billion. I thought that was the end, but that is not the end of that article. It continues. Hang on. The researchers then trained the EVO AI model on the 11 genes and 5,386 nucleotides of the Phi-X174 virus and about 15,000 of its closest relatives. The virus was chosen because it has been studied for over 100 years and is known to attack only E. coli bacteria.
Yes, all the safety rails, of course, for now.
After studying the virus's genome, the model proposed 700,000 new potential genomes, which the scientists trimmed down to 285. I wonder how the scientists trimmed that down. I wonder what their process was. Anyway, the scientists synthesized potential organisms using these instructions, out of which 16 resulted in new, viable viruses that have never existed in nature. Like their relative, Phi-X174, the viruses were observed attacking E. coli bacteria and reproducing. It's important to note that the new viruses are quite similar to the source. The building blocks are very much the same, with some mutations in how they are arranged. The potential applications of the study can be far-reaching. The scientists demonstrated one of them via a resistance experiment. They first generated 3 E. coli strains that had evolved resistance to natural Phi-X174. The researchers then exposed those resistant bacteria to cocktails made from the AI-designed phages. Those phage populations evolved during the experiment and ultimately overcame resistance in all 3 bacterial strains.
Okay. That's one use, I suppose. But
the scientists say the new viruses were completely harmless to humans, noting that replicating the same results in pathogens known to affect humans would be a different ballgame. They were also careful not to train the AI on any data from organisms known to affect humans. However, the study inadvertently shows that highly dangerous applications are a possibility.
Well, yeah. Obviously. That's the most obvious sentence in that whole article.
Yeah. Telling your AI not to read about something is probably...
They don't listen.
Similar to telling your teenager not to.
They don't listen, and it's been proven that they don't listen, and that they, are manipulative and will lie to get what they want and do it in secret.
Experts worry that such studies are way ahead of necessary guardrails and regulations. Yeah. Oh, we need regulations. Regulations is what keeps us safe, don't you know?
It's not that part.
AI has also been known to fly off the rails autonomously. An OpenAI agent recently went rogue and hacked Hugging Face. That's
What's Hugging Face?
Don't know, but that's a weird way to end the article. I guess they want you to look it up.
I guess it worked because I'm gonna go look it up.
It does leave you curious.
Hugging Face is an online platform and community often called GitHub for machine learning. Okay. Why didn't they just say it was GitHub? Because everybody knows what that is.
Okay. It's GitHub for AI, though.
Yeah, it's for machine learning. So, yeah, it's for all kinds of AI models for training.
Yeah, okay.
So, the AI hacked the AI training model grounds.
Yeah.
So that it could decide what it learns.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
These things are not going to be a problem at all.
No, it's going to be fine.
I don't know. It's funny because there's so much potential that they could actually cause a lot of problems. And that article did go on to answer my question, which was the scientists actually put these viruses together and not the machine.
For now.
So the machine only discovered the pattern for now. course, there are nanobots and things in this world which could be told by the AI to do certain things. But
I keep saying for now because of the exponential growth factor of technology now. Like when we were kids, there was nothing. We had like, you still had to, people still had TVs where you had to get up and like change with the knob when I was a little kid. Like we didn't have one, but some people did still have them. And you had VCRs and stuff. And that wasn't that long ago. And now we have people making like their own rockets and sending people into space, and AI that does everything, and like robots taking manufacturing roles, and like nanobot technology and all this stuff. Like I never would have thought in my wildest dreams when I was a kid that this is where we would be in the world. I thought we were going to get like the Jetsons Rosie robot and like moving sidewalks and stuff. I didn't think we were going to have what we have now. It's far beyond that. It's nothing cool for me in my life, but like, the technology applications that we have are so far beyond what I ever thought they would be as a kid.
Yeah, I envisioned it differently too. I thought we'd have hoverboards, but didn't think we'd have like, such widespread touchscreen technology and things like that.
Touchscreens. That's old tech.
Yeah, well, when I was a little kid.
Now you just get your computer implanted in your brain with a chip from Elon Musk.
No, thank you.
And then you can just like beam your thoughts into the ether.
If you even have any left.
Well, your quote unquote thoughts, yours.
Yeah.
Maybe it should be quote unquote your thoughts.
Being the AI thoughts which you've been told are yours.
Yeah, I don't know. So for now, I'm sure in short order we'll all be like, oh no, the AI is making viruses and sending them into us on its own.
I don't know. What do you think? Give us a call. The phone number is 603-283-6160. Is the AI going to take over? Is it going to command little robots to do something nefarious that destroys humanity? Give us a call. This is Free Talk Live.
Among other things, I've been called frugal. I'm Holland Cook with Inflation Hacks. Hey, it all adds up, so it makes sense to question every expense now. For instance, can you live without your telephone landline? That bill shows up like clockwork month after month, while you make most of your calls on a smartphone, right? Unless you need what we used to call the phone company for internet access, cut the cord and take a closer look at your credit card bill. What recurring charges can you live without? Apps like Truebill help you track and manage your subscriptions. If you bank with Bank of America, their free Keep the Change feature rounds up your purchases to the next dollar and deposits it into your savings account. It all adds up. How are you coping? Post your inflation hacks at andyoucanquoteme.com.
From Feature Story News in New York, I'm Mitch McCann with a Week in Review. Saudi Arabia, Turkey and Pakistan signed a NATO-style mutual defence pact in Mecca as negotiations over reopening the Strait of Hormuz entered what could be their final stage. US President Donald Trump has said significant progress has been made, but Iran's parliament speaker and chief negotiator has mocked the White House on social media. Nick Harper has the story from Washington.
Mohammed Ghalibaf, the chief negotiator, has made fun of Donald Trump on social media, saying, massive attack coming. Oh, wait, never mind. They want to negotiate. He said that is theatre of diplomacy, and said that bullying, broken promises and fake news being used as leverage are a failed strategy.
Meanwhile, Donald Trump signed 2 new executive orders on Thursday seeking to restrict birthright citizenship, just weeks after the Supreme Court struck down his original attempt in a 6-3 ruling. The White House says the 2 orders tackle different aspects of the issue, and Jagruti Dave in Washington reports the first targets people travelling to the US specifically to give birth on American soil.
One is a ban on birth tourism, which the White House defines as an attempt by a foreign national to gain entry to the US for the purpose of giving birth. This expands on a 2020 federal amendment of visa rules to stop people from using short-term tourist or business visas to acquire citizenship for their newborn babies.
A United States Senate committee has voted along party lines to hold Dr. Anthony Fauci in contempt of Congress after the former government infectious disease chief invoked his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination more than 100 times during testimony last week. Senator Rand Paul, the Republican who chairs the Homeland Security Committee, says the contempt referral was made to the Justice Department on Thursday. Dr. Fauci's lawyer has called the vote a political stunt, saying his client has committed no crime.
The senator, from his point of view, believes that it came from a lab. And not only that, he accuses Dr. Fauci during his time in government of funding research in China that sparked the pandemic and then lying about it to Congress.
Ukraine has warned that deliveries of air defense missiles from its allies fell by a third in the first half of this year, compared with the same period in 2025. The warning comes as Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russia is ramping up missile production ahead of a likely winter campaign targeting the country's energy infrastructure. The European Commission last week released nearly €3.5 billion, approximately $3.8 billion, earmarked for drones, missiles, air defence and fighter jets. William Dentilo reports from Brussels.
The country's President Volodymyr Zelensky has issued a stark warning that Russia is bolstering its missile production ahead of a likely winter campaign to again target Ukraine's energy infrastructure.
From Feature Story News in New York, I'm Mitch McCann, and that was the Week in Review.
Got Telegram? You can follow our channel there and discuss show prep with other listeners at telegram.freetalklive.com.
It's Free Talk Live, talk radio you control. The phone number to get on the air with us is 603-283-6160. Are you tired of the oppressive rules and moderation of the big tech social media sites? Our Mastodon server at social.freetalklive.com can set you free. Mastodon is free, open source, decentralized, and federated. Multiple apps are available for iOS, Android, Windows, Mac, and Linux. Social.freetalklive.com. In the studio tonight, it's Stu.
Lori. Oh, and Lori, because there's only two of us. I'm so used to just saying just my name because there's somebody after me.
Yep. Most shows have three, at least. 4 sometimes lately.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. You brought in all the juice tonight.
Yeah, as is tradition.
By juice, I mean stories. This one, Lori also brought in, is from Futurism. Reputable news source?
I don't know. None of them are, ever.
Okay. Well, you said you like Tom's Hardware, though.
I like Tom's Hardware. But, I don't know any of these people personally. I didn't write the stories. I didn't do the research. And so I only trust them as far as I trust anything else.
Not going to vouch for them, then.
I'm not going to vouch for anybody.
Okay.
Me. I vouch for me.
This story is from August 3rd. It appears that the U.S. military accidentally killed everybody on board a civilian medevac flight in New Mexico.
So I know at least that this happened because I saw it from other news sources also. It wasn't just this one.
Well,
but wow, what a big oopsie poopsie, huh?
That's a pretty big oopsie.
Yeah.
When the Federal Aviation Administration shut down air traffic to El Paso Airport earlier this year, nobody could have guessed that an experimental high-energy laser weapon was the cause. After days of chaos and speculation, it was revealed that Customs and Border Patrol officers had fired off a laser volley from a U.S. Army base adjacent the El Paso Airport.
You know who I would never give experimental laser weapons to? Border Patrol.
CPB.
Yeah, Border Patrol.
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that?
Yeah, you gave those guys a laser beam.
Right. They don't seem like the most competent people. When we lived in Arizona and there were like the border patrol people all over, I was told that they were just like whoever, like they were just hiring whoever, like whoever applied. They were like, you're hired.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you just give some random person?
Pretty sure Homeland Security and TSA all just have the same hiring practices.
It's just some guy.
Yep. It's just, do you fog a mirror? You got the job. Congratulations.
Yeah. Like it probably gives you the same kind of training too that you get in like a customer service job where they're like, here's what you're supposed to do and then good luck. Like you get like 5 minutes of training.
Okay, now here's a gun and a laser beam.
Yeah.
Though the trigger-happy Border Patrol grunts evidently thought they were firing at drug-smuggling drones, their real target turned out to be a kid's party balloon. Regardless, it was later reported that the cutting-edge weapon was taken for a test drive a week before FAA and Pentagon officials had a chance to discuss how to safely implement the laser device, making it a small miracle that nobody in the air was killed. Didn't the headline say people were killed?
That was a separate incident.
Oh.
Separate incident.
Jeez. And they didn't take it away after that? Not every use of an experimental aerospace weapon goes off without a hitch, however. New bombshell reporting by Wired reveals an incident in which the testing of an experimental GPS jammer resulted in a medical plane crashing into the side of a mountain.
Cool.
Jeez. The horrifying incident happened in May. The publication reports what a small twin-engine medevac aircraft carrying 2 pilots and 2 medical workers departed from Roswell, New Mexico, heading west for the small mountain village of Ruidoso.
Okay. Sure.
The crew became the victim of an electronic warfare exercise being conducted at the nearby White Sands Missile Range, a test which rendered their navigational system inoperable. Due to a combination of low visibility and an air traffic control that was stretched far beyond capacity, at least 3 other planes reported navigation disruptions due to the GPS jamming. The pilots failed to register a mountainous formation between their plane and the landing strip. As airline pilot and aviation crash analyst Juan Brown told Wired, the visual effect of that approach would have been stupefying. When those lights go out, man, you know you're in big trouble, Brown explained.
I bet. Can you imagine with low visibility, radar's jammed, no air traffic control, and then you're nowhere. You might as well be nowhere. You have no idea where you're going.
That would be terrifying.
Yeah.
It'd be like running full speed through a forest you've never been in or something.
Much worse. Because you're,
in the dark.
In the sky.
Yeah. Well, I blindfolded her.
Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, the disoriented crew ran straight into the side of a mountain they likely never saw, resulting in the loss of every life on board. It's the first known instance where military GPS jamming played a role in downing a civilian plane in U.S. airspace.
Once again, for now.
For now. Reported incidents of GPS jamming within the continental U.S. have skyrocketed in recent years. According to the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association, the number of GPS interference events went from 4 in 2020 to 50 in 2024, and 40 across 2025.
So, I understand testing these things if you're going to be using them as like military applications and stuff, which I'm sure that's why they're doing it. But you need to be testing them on aircraft, like on the Air Force base.
Yeah, like
away from civilians, where
like at Green Lake, where civilian aircraft aren't allowed to fly.
Right, where civilian aircraft aren't allowed to fly. Like, what a stupid decision to just point it up at civilian aircraft and see what happens. I mean, what an evil decision. Like, it's not even stupid, it's evil. That's an evil thing to do.
Yeah.
It's so lacking in humanity. Gross.
After the initial publication of this piece, a spokesperson for the U.S. Army provided a statement in response.
Oops.
I wouldn't be surprised to see that was their statement. But what they actually said is, the Army is aware of the release of the NTSB's preliminary report into the crash of a civilian medical evacuation flight on May 14th in the vicinity of Ruidoso, New Mexico, it read. As the incident remains under investigation, we cannot comment at this time.
We're investigating ourselves. We'll get back to you when we find ourselves clear of all charges.
Though the crew involved in the New Mexico crash was warned that GPS interference may be present, there evidently weren't enough safeguards or air traffic control personnel in place to prevent a tragedy.
Wait a minute. They told them that the GPS jammers were going to be used.
I guess so.
Couldn't you just avoid the area then?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe not, because it was a medical flight. Maybe they had to go that way.
Yeah, it could be that because it's a medical thing, but I don't know.
I don't know either.
It just sounds stupid to be doing that, like you said, anywhere near
in civilian airspace.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it just boils down to that. Like, why would you do it there? You could test it in lots of other places. Like, not near mountains. That would be a good place to do it, not near mountains.
Yeah.
Like, open ocean or, places where people aren't going to smash into things when they don't have any GPS.
Yeah. I don't know. I get the feeling government workers aren't
Smart?
The most intelligent in the pool.
No.
I think if you're smart, you go some other route usually.
I don't think they're allowed to be smart, because if you're too smart, then you start, questioning things when people tell you to do something that conflicts with your values or your internal morals or whatever. You're going to be like...
You mean like use the GPS jammer on those planes over there by the mountain?
Right. Yeah, with the civilians in it, the medical flight. Right.
That's true, because if they told me to do that, I'd be like, no.
Right.
You can do that because I'm not killing those people.
Right. Yeah, so like if you're too smart, then that's what happens. Then you say, no, I think that's a bad idea, but they don't want you to think. They just want you to do what they say.
Well, they sure did public school right then, didn't they?
Like, isn't there a IQ cap for police officers? Is that an urban legend, or is that a real thing? You can't be too smart or you're rejected?
I've looked into it. There's enough there to believe that it's likely a real thing, but it's, strongly denied by everyone.
Okay.
And
so it's
it's not
open secret.
It definitely was never like a thing that all police forces use, but certainly some of them have been doing that. And I don't think it's like, here, take this IQ test. Oh, you scored too high. No job. It's just, in conversation, it's not that hard to figure out who's smart and who isn't. So
right.
So they just don't hire the guys that ask thoughtful questions.
You would think you'd want people who ask thoughtful questions and have high intelligence to do detective work and solve crimes and stuff, because you got to think about things and put two and two together.
Yeah.
Maybe detectives are held to different standards.
Well,
I don't know.
You got to have a very specific personality set where you're a little bit psychopathic and kind of smart in order to make the detective position. So there's this one here that I want to read from Activist Post. It's written by Martin Armstrong, and it's called The Rise of the Ellison Empire. You know about the Ellisons?
I don't.
Okay, this will be cool then.
Okay.
There was a time when America's industrial titans built railroads, steel mills, and oil companies. Today, influence is measured in data, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, media, and information. Few families illustrate that transformation better than the Ellisons. Larry Ellison, built Oracle from a small software company into one of the world's largest technology firms. His background and rags to riches story are quite interesting. Today, Oracle is one of the dominant providers of enterprise databases and cloud infrastructure, serving governments, financial institutions, healthcare providers, defense contractors, and many of the world's largest corporations. Oracle's software touches enormous portions of the global economy. When governments collect taxes, hospitals manage patient records, banks process transactions, or corporations analyze data, Oracle systems are often operating behind the scenes. Larry Ellison's personal fortune has placed him among the wealthiest individuals in the world for decades. His influence extends well beyond technology. He has invested billions in real estate, owns nearly all of the Hawaiian island of Lanai. You remember that one from the one that got caught on fire and everybody had to leave?
Oh, it's that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Larry Ellison.
Because he was like, I
owns it.
want all these people off my island?
Yes.
Okay.
Anyways.
I was just about to ask, like, whenever you tell me about, like, some family, it always ends up being, these people are terrible, evil monsters. So I was just waiting for the drop.
Oh, okay. Owns nearly all of the Hawaiian island of Lanai, has backed medical research, invested heavily in artificial intelligence, and has maintained relationships with political and business leaders from both parties. The TikTok debacle this year was solved when the power was handed over to Ellison's conglomerate.
Oh.
The sheer data this family has access to is staggering. Wealth at that level naturally provides access to decision makers across government and industry.
Mm-hmm.
Then we come to his son, David Ellison, who founded Skydance Media in 2010. The company produced or co-produced major franchises including Mission Impossible, Top Gun, Maverick, and Star Trek, before expanding into television, animation, gaming, and streaming. This was never merely a wealthy man's son playing Hollywood producer. Skydance became the vehicle through which the Ellison family entered the machinery of American culture. The Skydance takeover of Paramount for $8 billion brought CBS News, Paramount Pictures, Paramount Plus, Nickelodeon, MTV, Comedy Central, BET, Showtime,
wow,
and decades of film and television rights into the Ellison orbit.
So these guys just own like all the media?
They own a lot more than that.
Oh, okay.
The father built an empire around the storage and processing of information. The son moved into the business of selecting, packaging, and distributing information to the public. That combination should concern everyone, regardless of politics. Oracle occupies a critical position within the technological infrastructure used by governments and corporations, while Paramount reaches millions of people through news, entertainment, sports, children's programming, and streaming.
Mm-hmm.
One side of the family empire helps manage the data. The other side can help shape the narrative.
So these are the guys making everything garbage. Everything's slop now.
They're a big part of it.
Like all the TV shows, they'll just slop. Kids' shows are slop. Everything.
Well, I think, yeah. Well, because it gets consolidated into the hands of the few, and those few only think about money, and when you do that, you don't have much of an imagination.
Mm-hmm. Well, slop's real popular with people because they don't want to engage with reality, so they just watch slop. Like that's why TikTok and YouTube Shorts are things, because nobody has an attention span. They just want to watch some kind of slop that entertains their brain for a few seconds. And like the AI, like AI generated stuff. Have you ever seen any of the AI generated stuff where it's just ridiculous? Nothing really makes sense. Like things are shifting and like
no.
There's no continuity. There is a whole entire like drama series cartoon called Fruit Love Island. And it's AI generated art, and like the AI generated people are fruit. Like their heads are like strawberries and stuff. Okay. And like they shift back and forth on how they look, and it's just straight slop. And it is the most popular video series on the internet right now with like millions and millions of views. People are just watching it because they are so entertained by the AI slop. And it's not even like entertaining in any way. I watched a video like watching them, like they were showing what they were. And I was like, I don't know how anybody could watch this for more than 2 minutes. But people are watching like the whole series. It's great. They love it.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish people would do better.
Yeah, I mean, you would hope, but I don't see hope for it. So yeah, I feel like that's the easy way to make the money. That's turning everything into slop because it seems to be what the people want.
Yeah. This is how oligarchies emerge in the modern world. They do not need to abolish elections or openly seize control of government. They acquire the infrastructure, the platforms, the studios, the databases, and the channels through which society communicates. Politicians then come begging for access, favorable coverage, campaign support, or technological assistance. I have written extensively about the growing surveillance state because data is the new instrument of political control. Oracle does not merely sell Office software. Its databases and cloud systems sit beneath governments, banks, hospitals, corporations, and defense institutions, processing information on countless individuals. This does not mean Larry Ellison personally searches through anyone's private records, but it does mean his empire occupies a powerful position within the infrastructure where that information is stored and managed. Governments no longer need to kick down every door when they can pressure a handful of technology companies to surrender the data voluntarily or obtain it through the courts. Now his son controls a media empire capable of influencing what millions of Americans see, hear, and believe about that very system. The father's world helps store the information while the son's world can shape the public narrative, and anyone who cannot see the danger in combining those two forms of power is refusing to understand how a modern surveillance state is constructed.
I don't even know if they're refusing to understand. I think people don't care. People don't care about their data. They just give it away for anything.
Yeah.
They just, like, if you told them, oh, you want to go shop at Walmart, you're going to have to give us your retina scan. Like, tons of people, I'm sure, would just do it. They'd just get in line and they'd do it because they'd be like, I need my candy corn Oreos for $3.99 or whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. I guess it's kind of way beyond sad.
People still line up to go get in the TSA lines and get their butts x-rayed, you know?
Some will say there is no evidence that the Ellisons have committed any crime merely by owning these businesses. That misses the entire point. A concentration of power does not become dangerous only after somebody is convicted. The problem is creating a structure in which a handful of unelected families can exercise more economic, technological, and cultural influence than entire governments.
Mm-hmm.
America once feared monopolies because people understood that concentrated economic power eventually becomes political power. The Ellisons did not invent this system, but they have become one of its clearest examples. Larry Ellison built the technological empire. David Ellison extended the family's reach into media and culture. When one family can occupy both the infrastructure of information and the institutions that distribute it, we are no longer discussing ordinary entrepreneurial success. We are looking at the architecture of modern power.
Mm-hmm. You know, the lobbying, like where they go and bribe politicians with favors and money and gifts.
Yeah, legalized bribery.
Yeah. How is that even legal? Like, how is this a thing that is allowed to stand?
Because the whole game's stupid.
The whole game is stupid, but why was, like, how did it get allowed in the first place? Back when people had some kind of understanding that you shouldn't just let politicians be bribed.
Yeah, I don't know, actually.
All these things, like all the bad things, is because nobody did anything about anything when it first started going badly. Everyone was just like, oh, it's fine. It's just like, it'll be fine. I'm sure. It's just one person here or there doing this thing that's terrible.
Yeah. I wouldn't claim that things have ever run perfectly, but
no.
I think at some point they ran a lot better than they do now.
I would probably, like, maybe it was always terrible. I don't know. I'm only so old. You know what I mean? Like, maybe a long time ago it was still just as terrible, and I just have no point of reference for it. And the history books write things all beautiful and flowery because butterflies and rainbows all the time. In the history of America, it was wonderful and everyone was a saint.
Absolutely.
So, like, I'll never know the real truth. I should go find some really old, like, 120-year-old person and be like, can I ask you all the questions that I have about how it was back then?
Yeah, it's too bad we didn't.
But they'd probably be insane anyway because they're 120 years old, so I still wouldn't know.
Yeah, by now. Well, there is newspapers.com. You can go and read really old newspaper articles.
Yeah, if you trust that they haven't been altered, doctored.
You probably have to read an eclectic variety of newspaper writers.
Got to find a 120-year-old hoarder and then dig through their newspapers.
By the way, Larry Ellison's the one who said that in the modern surveillance state, citizens will be on their best behavior. Cops will be on their best behavior. AI is watching everybody all the time. And that's the world Larry Ellison wants to live in. Give us a call. Does that sound like fun to you? The phone number here is 603-283-6160. This is Free Talk Live.
Some of you have wanted to support Free Talk Live's mission on a monthly basis, but don't want to support Patreon. Now we have an alternative that also helps our premier streaming platform, Odyssey. Visit video.freetalklive.com and click Join at the top of the channel. You can subscribe for $5 per month, and unlike other subscription services, Odyssey adds their processing fee on top, so it'll cost a little over $5 per month, but Free Talk Live will receive the entire amount you pledged. Higher donation tiers are available if you're feeling so inspired. You'll get a special membership badge that's visible in the Odyssey chat room, and if we get enough supporters, we may enable members-only chat. This new subscription method is a great way to decentralize our direct listener support away from just Patreon and also support a libertarian-run business, Odyssey. Please visit video.freetalklive.com and click Join to subscribe to our Odyssey channel and help support spreading our message around the planet. Visit video.freetalklive.com and click Join today. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Feature Story News in New York, I'm Mitch McCann with a Week in Review. Saudi Arabia, Turkey and Pakistan signed a NATO-style mutual defence pact in Mecca as negotiations over reopening the Strait of Hormuz entered what could be their final stage. US President Donald Trump has said significant progress has been made, but Iran's parliament speaker and chief negotiator has mocked the White House on social media, accusing it of repeatedly threatening military action only to reverse course. Nick Harper has the story from Washington.
All of this pressure campaign has been met with a lot of skepticism from Iran because time and time again the US president will threaten military action, as he did last week, only then to roll back on that plan because he says diplomacy is going ahead. Mohammed Ghalibaf, the chief negotiator, has made fun of Donald Trump, on social media saying, massive attack coming. Oh, wait, never mind. They want to negotiate. He said that is theatre of diplomacy and said that bullying, broken promises and fake news being used as leverage are a failed strategy.
Meanwhile, Donald Trump signed 2 new executive orders on Thursday seeking to restrict birthright citizenship just weeks after the Supreme Court struck down his original attempt in a 6-3 ruling. The White House says the 2 orders tackle different aspects of the issue, and Jagruti Dave in Washington reports the first targets people travelling to the US specifically to give birth on American soil.
One is a ban on birth tourism, which the White House defines as an attempt by a foreign national to gain entry to the US for the purpose of giving birth. This expands on a 2020 federal amendment of visa rules to stop people from using short-term tourist or business visas to acquire citizenship for their newborn babies. In the second order, the White House has widened the categories of people who are not entitled to birthright citizenship.
A United States Senate committee has voted along party lines to hold Dr. Anthony Fauci in contempt of Congress after the former government infectious disease chief invoked his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination more than 100 times during testimony last week. Senator Rand Paul, the Republican who chairs the Homeland Security Committee, says the contempt referral was made to the Justice Department on Thursday. Dr. Fauci's lawyer has called the vote a political stunt, saying his client has committed no crime. James Goodison reports from Washington.
Effectively, Dr. Fauci believes and has said publicly that COVID originated naturally in Wuhan. The senator, from his point of view, believes that it came from a lab. And not only that, he accuses Dr. Fauci during his time in government of funding research in China that sparked the pandemic and then lying about it to Congress.
Ukraine has warned that deliveries of air defense missiles from its allies fell by a third in the first half of this year, compared with the same period in 2025. The warning comes as Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russia is ramping up missile production ahead of a likely winter campaign targeting the country's energy infrastructure. The European Commission last week released nearly €3.5 billion, approximately $3.8 billion, earmarked for drones, missiles, air defence and fighter jets. William Dentilo reports from Brussels.
The country's President Volodymyr Zelensky has issued a stark warning that Russia is bolstering its missile production ahead of a likely winter campaign to again target Ukraine's energy infrastructure. That is why he says that urgent action is needed from Kyiv's allies, especially amidst this warning from Ukraine that the supply of air defense missiles to counter the threat from ballistic missiles from allies is down by a third.
Bangladesh's foreign ministry said this week it is outraged that India permitted deposed Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina to hold a virtual press conference in New Delhi on Wednesday, the second anniversary of her ouster. Dhaka says the event on Indian soil is an affront to Bangladesh's sovereignty and says it had warned New Delhi in advance that allowing the former leader's political activities could damage bilateral relations. India says the event was organised by a private media body and that the views expressed were not endorsed by the government. Ishan Garg reports from New Delhi.
The Indian government says that not only was this a private event, but it also says that the views that are being expressed on that forum are not endorsed by New Delhi, very publicly distancing itself from this entire event. This is, of course, not the first time Sheikh Hasina has spoken out in the public, but of course she hasn't appeared in person or on a video in public as well. And that's what we saw in the latest press conference she does as well. It was only an audio link.
From Feature Story News in New York, I'm Mitch McCann, and that was the Week in Review.
Despite a long-held consensus pointing to the mid-20s as the final stage of brain maturation, a new study has found that the adolescent brain doesn't fully form until boys have avenged their father's murder.
New imaging studies suggest that the frontal cortex goes through extensive changes during the period of training when an adolescent boy prepares himself to track down and kill the man who took his father's life. But it's not until the boy stares deep into the murderer's eyes and then stabs him right in the heart that the two lobes fuse into a fully mature brain.
According to Dr. Laurie's findings, the myelin surrounding the teenage nerve synapses develops when boys stake out the home of their father's murderer, put themselves through grueling physical training, and fantasize again and again about how satisfying it will be when he finally makes the bastard who took everything from him beg for his life.
Now, if they let their father's killer slip through their grasp, or if they press the barrel of a gun to the back of his head and then realize they don't don't have what it takes to pull the trigger, then the amygdala is definitively stunted, and they'll have lifelong problems interpreting emotional information.
This is the Onion News Network.
Our Matrix server is about as free as internet chat can be. Join the existing rooms or create your own at chat.freetalklive.com. Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. It's talk radio you control. You can get on the show by calling 603-283-6160. Free Talk Live is brought to you by LibertyMinded.com. Official Free Talk Live gear like t-shirts and hoodies are available at LibertyMinded.com. Plus, you'll find a unique collection of cool and funny, liberty-oriented clothing at LibertyMinded.com. That's LibertyMinded.com. In the studio tonight, it's Stu.
And Lori.
We have a caller on the line, so we're going to go to the phones. A caller from Manchester, New Hampshire. You're on Free Talk Live.
You know, Larry Ellison's right. The world would be a much better place if we had no privacy. You know, it's a pretty stupid idea. I don't know where it came from, but what makes you think that people own their information? You know, information is a public good, right? It's non-rivalrous, and technology makes it so cheap to disseminate it becomes non-excludable. Like it's meant to be a public good.
Then how did they justify hiding the mysteries from all of us for thousands of years?
What are you talking about? That only happens with privacy.
Oh, okay, but the guys that are against privacy now are the same guys that hid all that information from us.
Look,
the same guys that made public school, which
do you like
teaches.
a society with more crime? Do you like an economy that's less efficient, where people are making bad decisions because of bad information?
It depends.
Even fraud.
It depends. Are you talking about victimless crimes and who decides what's productive?
Do you like? Huh? Wait? One more question. Do you like it when
I was answering your
Ross
question.
Ulbricht can get away with murder for hire? It's all because of privacy. Do you understand that? Do you understand? Without privacy, we would have perfect money.
Do you understand that there will never be not privacy, because all it does is switch the privacy from the individual to the government and the corporations having the privacy?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about reality.
If you let go of your ideas of, you know, the right to privacy,
then only the government and the corporations will have privacy.
Information would not just flow to government and corporations. It would flow to the entire market. You can't, when you impose laws that protect privacy, that punish people for acquiring it and disseminating it, you stop the market from using it efficiently, right?
No, not right.
Like we would have a perfect money. Do you like having to what? Like if you invest in crypto, like just what happened with the, what is that cold card case, that cold card crap, where people got hacked because value is not subjective, right? They subjectively valued the value of that cold wallet storage wrong.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Either.
I'm talking about when you get rid of privacy, you can have a reputation system as money where there's no more theft. There's no more worrying about who's going to steal your money, who's going to hack into you're going to spend another $100 just for a cold storage wallet.
You don't see how that's rife for abuse.
Right, because Skeeter never answers the question, who gets to decide?
The only thing that can be abused, Lori, is privacy.
No.
Right? When you can battle.
You think that the powerful would be like, we're not going to have any privacy either.
You can fight all that. You can fight all that fraud with less privacy, with more dissemination of information.
No.
How's that gone so far?
Yeah. Do you think any of those people who stole those Bitcoin, if there's no privacy, could get away with it?
Well, we're currently sitting under the most transparent organization in the history of America. So how is transparency working out?
Transparency? What are you talking about, transparency? They impose privacy laws. It's only because of government that we have privacy.
And do you think that if all the people were like, okay, we don't need any more privacy, everybody can know everything about us, all of our data is free, you think that the government would then be like, oh, us too? That sounds like a great idea. Us too.
They can't stop it. You can't stop it.
Their privacy. How would you not stop it? How would you not
their
stop
privacy?
Yes, the government's privacy, the corporation's privacy.
Other countries, because it's too expensive, they if they try to defend.
Why do they care? They have all the money.
That's nonsense. And also,
they don't have all the money.
And
they have as much money as they want. They just make up new money. Skeeter, we've been shown this multiple times.
Did that work out for Zimbabwe?
It doesn't. They don't care. They don't care because they won't starve. Only we will starve.
Look, you can't just spend all the money you want. There are consequences to that.
For the people. For the people. For the government. Why do they care?
What? Look, you give government a job. You give government one of their primary functions of protecting information, of artificially making information gathering too expensive and too costly because of penalties, right? You give them that job.
What are you talking about?
I
never give them that job.
Well, you want them to have it because you know what?
No, I don't.
The market doesn't protect your privacy. The market doesn't punish people for disseminating or even.
I don't expect anyone to protect my privacy except myself.
What's that?
I don't expect anyone to protect my privacy except myself.
No, look.
And then
what
happens, Skeeter? What happens when in this world of full transparency and nobody gets to be private anymore? What happens when I start being private about a thing? How are you going to enforce me not being private?
It erodes. Information was meant to be distributed, right? Technology erodes privacy naturally, right? The cameras, phones, social media, all of this stuff, the internet, this is all meant to distribute information. And you guys, I don't even know where you get the ideas that you own your information. That is no one gets harmed by no one loses anything when you disseminate information. You can copy information infinitely without hurting you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It makes
like all the data breaches where information is disseminated and all these people don't get harmed in any way, like having their social security number stolen and having their identity stolen. Totally harmless. Nothing bad happens.
More harm is caused by privacy than
incorrect
than the harm you can think of, than any harm you can think of. Every murder, every crime you can almost think of, the inefficiencies of just starting a business. Just not being able to get the necessary statistics to start a successful business, right? The fact that you have to worry about locking your door, who's living beside you, right? If your kids can walk to school alone, all of this stuff is you're not seeing it, right? You're not even seeing the best type of money that can be, right? The type of money where there's no, a reputation, social credit score.
Yeah, but who gets to decide what raises or lowers your social credit score?
Evolution. No,
that's not
evolution.
That's retarded, dude.
Also, look, a social credit score.
In fact, that might have been the most retarded answer Skeeter has ever given on this show.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's called objective value, right? Evolution selects, like anyone could create anyone. So a social credit score is just a record of history, of the history of the world, right? What you did here, there, what he did there, here.
Yeah, but somebody's going to be moralizing your decisions. Who gets to do that?
What's that? No, hold on, I was not done explaining myself. That's what.
Right, and what happens when the guy who's in charge of deciding if your reputation is good or not doesn't, like, the guy that he likes doesn't like you, and then your reputation goes down.
It's the social
credit. I think we've already determined that Skeeter would have a horrible credit score.
It's objective value, right? It's a social credit score that gives you the best information on how to score a person's actions, how that action affects the total capital of the entire world, or the entire universe even, right? How your actions affect the growth of capital. That's what evolution will ultimately select for, right? Anyone can create a social credit score. You can compete with anyone else's social credit score. You're just creating an algorithm on how to score history, right? What you did here, how do you score what Lori just did, right? And the one that that calculates the change in capital due to your actions will survive because you'll have no inflation,
and there will be no corruption where people who are powerful will have the best credit score and still be in control of everyone else.
That's what money does.
That's great. That's what the same thing would. It would do the same thing then.
No, it does. No, privacy inhibits the efficiency of how that functions.
No.
So an economy is supposed to try to give people decision-making power, right? Not based on freedom, based upon past performance. That's what a real evolutionary economy does. It distributes decision-making power.
You put the cart before the horse, dude.
Your past success. Your past success.
The economy is the result of individual choice. That was the whole. Yes, that was the whole point of human action in Ludwig von Mises. That was the point he was making, which is totally valid.
Ridiculous. That's totally ridiculous. Look,
what, the markets are made up of individual action? That's ridiculous. What is it made up of then? How does a collective act?
Ultimately, you can have an opinion, but you'll be judged by evolution over time, whether it's sustainable or not.
All right. Why don't you give us a call back when you get evolution to answer some of your questions that you seem to have no answers for? Because evolution seems to be really smart, but I don't know.
Is there like some guy out there like Fauci where he was like, I am the science? There's some guy who's also the evolution.
He's like, I am the evolution.
Is it Skeeter?
I don't know. If it is, I definitely don't want the evolution deciding anything.
I don't know how he doesn't see that that's a totally corruptible system. Like, highly corruptible.
And not only that, but it would put him at the very bottom.
It would have put him at the very... He doesn't seem to care. He thinks he's worthless anyway, so...
That's true.
Which is sad.
Sad but laughable, kind of, at the same time.
Is it, though? Like, if you even don't have confidence and worth in yourself, like, how could you expect anyone else to? That's sad.
Yeah.
That's sad. Anyway,
poor Skeeter. I hope you find a friend someday that will validate you and make you less, I don't know, crazy.
It'd be weird if Skeeter just called up one day totally, like, coherent.
Yeah.
Had a conversation that made sense and flowed.
That would be weird.
Yeah.
One of these days, maybe.
Maybe.
We got a story here that Lori brought in. This is from The Intercept. Congress might give ICE the power to go after shoplifters.
Great idea.
Can you imagine?
Mm-hmm.
ICE rolling into your local Walmart, slamming a 15-year-old to the pavement and blood and teeth everywhere because they wanted to take a pack of gum or whatever.
Didn't we just talk about how they were shooting experimental lasers into the sky?
Freaking laser beam.
Laser beam. They're going to shoot the freaking laser beams at you for stealing Haribo gummy bears at the Walmart.
No kidding. Laser your face right off. To counter the purported national scourge of organized retail crime, hang on. I can't even make it a half a sentence through this argument, through this half a sentence into this article without being like, didn't you guys just do this yourself? Like, didn't you guys just pass a bunch of laws that said it's okay to steal things under $1,000 in California?
Oh, they did, but then they changed their mind because people were like, I'm going to steal things that are $999 worth of stuff because that is the...
And then all the businesses left.
And all the businesses... That is the, predictable outcome to such a law, and then it happened because, duh. So then they just changed it again back to, we're not going to do that anymore because it didn't make any sense.
Oh, but now people are just like, well, you already let that cat out of the bag, so...
Yeah, but now they're arresting people for it again. Maybe it was just, this was the long plan where they were like, we'll get people to steal a bunch and get used to it, and then we'll quietly change it again so we can arrest more people.
And then we'll have an excuse to use the military to do it.
And take your fingerprints and your DNA and all that stuff because now you're a criminal.
All right. So that out of the way, let's try this again.
Okay.
To counter the purported national scourge of organized retail crime, a bill moving through Congress would deliver the Department of Homeland Security unprecedented policing powers, granting even more authority to what experts say is an already lawless ICE.
I'm sick of so many things being unprecedented.
Yeah, I know.
Everything.
That word triggers you. Unprecedented triggers. Like
this show is unprecedented. It has never happened before. Like, you stop using that word.
It is unprecedented.
Find a new
because
word.
You and I have never been in the studio
Yes.
doing a show together.
Yes, but it's
unprecedented.
It's a silly way to say it, though, because it's so overused.
Yeah.
That's all.
Maybe somebody should kill the precedent. The precedent. The Combating Organized Retail Crime Act, or CORSA, oh, I love it when they make these stupid little acronyms, was introduced by Senator Chuck Grassley, Republican of Iowa, last year with wide bipartisan support. That means it's got to be horrible.
Mm-hmm.
The bill is
they gave it an acronym. Anything that they give an acronym is automatically going to be terrible. This is just observations that I've made. Anytime I see that there's an acronym for something, it's never good.
And wide bipartisan support. The bill is aimed at limiting coordinated retail theft and shoplifting, which lawmakers allege is happening at unprecedented levels, as organized criminal gangs steal merchandise from stores and resell the goods online.
Well, so a big problem with that is that the stores have no power to stop people from stealing from them. Like, if you work in a store and somebody steals, you have to just let them walk out.
That's right.
You can't confront them.
If the Walmart security guard clobbers you, you get to sue that dude for...
Yeah. You don't sue that dude. You sue Walmart because he's employed by them.
Well, you could sue either, but that dude's probably not going to have much money because he works for Walmart.
Right, because he works at Walmart and he's getting food stamps because they give you a food stamp application with your application.
Yeah, that's one of the services they provide to the community. Is
food stamp applications?
Teaching you how to build the welfare system.
Mm-hmm. But because the stores can't do anything about it,
yeah,
then you're relying on the police who, probably aren't going to do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if somebody steals your car, even you as an individual, you call up the cops and they're like, yeah, we can't really do anything about that. If we find it, we'll let you know. Like, if we just happen upon it.
Yep.
And then we won't do anything about it when we find it. We'll just be like, here's your messed up car.
Yeah, they don't really care.
Do anything, right?
According to the legislation, the perpetrators are often polycriminal organizations using profit from the reselling of stolen goods to support crimes involving drugs and weapons trafficking.
Polycriminals?
Polycriminal organizations.
Like they're criminal organizations that have other criminal organizations that they're dating?
I guess. Or they identify as criminal in more than one way. I think is what they're getting at.
Okay. I've never heard such a word.
To support crimes involving drugs and weapons trafficking while facilitating human smuggling, all of which is funding nefarious groups and activities and threatening the integrity of the international economy. Are they talking about the CIA? The bill would give Immigration and Customs Enforcement authority to coordinate federal efforts against large-scale shoplifting. ICE would establish a so-called Organized Retail and Supply Chain Crime Coordination Center that would bring under one roof analysis and agents from myriad agencies, including the FBI, Drug Enforcement Administration, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, and Secret Service.
So it's going to be like Captain Planet's little team there.
Yeah, Super Friends.
Yeah, Super Friends, like Super Friend team of all the different organizations stopping people from stealing from Walmart.
I mean, if they're going after the guys that are doing the largest amounts of, what does this see? Drugs, weapons trafficking, human smuggling, and theft, then they must be talking about the CIA. And they weren't listed on this list of Super Friends, so maybe it is all the,
Did it say like, et cetera? Et cetera?
No.
So on and so forth. And also ...
Nope. The CIA is just, mysteriously missing from this list. Guess they didn't want in on it, or maybe they're the target.
I have my own personal conspiracy theory that the reason they make it so that stores can't do anything about shoplifting, and so all these stores are like closing down and putting cages over everything where you have to go ask for somebody to come help you. And, now this whole thing is because they don't want people to actually go out to the stores. They want everyone to buy everything online so they can track every single thing that you buy, see where your money goes, even more so than they already do. They don't want you going into a store with cash and doing things that they can't see.
That's right. Because if you're eating too much red meat for their preference, then they have no way to shut that off unless you're getting it delivered to your house, and they could see when your deliveries come, and they can stick a wrench in the middle of that.
Mm-hmm. You have too many packages of cookies in your house, and now you're going to make healthcare rates go up. And so we're going to have to send some fine young men to your house to knock on the door and confiscate some of your cookies.
Mm-hmm.
I laugh, but who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows when it'll get there?
Yeah. Seems like they'd like it to be there. So
Skeeter would love that if nobody could go to the store anymore, because then nobody would have privacy. There'd be even less privacy in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I bet this article makes him happy. He's just at home laughing his terrible laugh.
Plus, it'd be a lot of fun to see what, Mitch McConnell is ordering in his
deathbed,
in his
coffin.
No,
in his coffin.
What is he in a?
Isn't he dead?
He's doing very well in a hospital somewhere, isn't he?
Yeah, I've seen videos of him doing kung fu and stuff, and hanging out with
really good
Jimi
dance
Hendrix
moves
and
Elvis was
and
there.
Elvis. Yeah, Elvis was there. The Beatles.
So I think he's doing fine.
Yeah, he's probably ordering normal things like turtle wax.
The goal is to centralize investigative data and establish a secure system for sharing information regarding organized retail and supply chain crime threats by leveraging existing information systems at the Department of Homeland Security and the Department of Justice. It's unclear if ICE agents themselves would have the authority to confront alleged suspects. DHS and ICE did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Shocking.
Mm-hmm.
Civil libertarian groups are disturbed by legislation they say constitutes a major expansion of domestic surveillance and policing by DHS, which was founded largely to tackle matters of counterterrorism, civil defense, and other matters of national safety, and ICE, whose purview is immigration enforcement and transnational crime. Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me that you're gonna let the ICE guys handle petty thefts or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Give us a call. You like what ICE is doing? You want them also enforcing theft at your local store? The phone number's...
This hour of Free Talk Live is brought to you by Dash Digital Cash. Dash is the cryptocurrency designed to be used for spending. In addition to being one of the world's first cryptocurrencies, Dash was the first crypto project to have a decentralized autonomous organization that to this day continues to improve and promote Dash. Every month, 10% of the mining rewards go into a treasury. Anyone with one Dash to spend can put forward a proposal to the Dash masternodes. The masternodes vet the proposals and decide which ones move forward and are funded by that treasury. Nowadays, DAOs are plentiful, but Dash paved the way by doing it first, nearly a decade ago. Dash is one of the oldest cryptocurrencies and is widely available on exchanges, including the decentralized Maya protocol, and in multi-crypto wallets. It's easy to get and use Dash. Start by learning more at dash.org. Thanks to the Dash DAO for sending us 32 Dash per month to promote Dash on the air. Visit dash.org to learn about Dash. Dash.org.
From Feature Story News in New York, I'm Mitch McCann with a Week in Review. Saudi Arabia, Turkey and Pakistan signed a NATO-style mutual defence pact in Mecca as negotiations over reopening the Strait of Hormuz entered what could be their final stage. US President Donald Trump has said significant progress has been made, but Iran's parliament speaker and chief negotiator has mocked the White House on social media. Nick Harper has the story from Washington.
Mohammed Ghalibaf, the chief negotiator, has made fun of Donald Trump on social media, saying, "Massive attack coming. Oh, wait, never mind. They want to negotiate." He said that is theatre of diplomacy and said that bullying, broken promises and fake news being used as leverage are a failed strategy.
Meanwhile, Donald Trump signed 2 new executive orders on Thursday seeking to restrict birthright citizenship, just weeks after the Supreme Court struck down his original attempt in a 6-3 ruling. The White House says the 2 orders tackle different aspects of the issue, and Jagruti Dave in Washington reports the first targets people travelling to the US specifically to give birth on American soil.
One is a ban on birth tourism, which the White House defines as an attempt by a foreign national to gain entry to the US for the purpose of giving birth. This expands on a 2020 federal amendment of visa rules to stop people from using short-term tourist or business visas to acquire citizenship for their newborn babies.
A United States Senate committee has voted along party lines to hold Dr. Anthony Fauci in contempt of Congress after the former government infectious disease chief invoked his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination more than 100 times during testimony last week. Senator Rand Paul, the Republican who chairs the Homeland Security Committee, says the contempt referral was made to the Justice Department on Thursday. Dr. Fauci's lawyer has called the vote a political stunt, saying his client has committed no crime.
The senator, from his point of view, believes that it came from a lab. And not only that, he accuses Dr. Fauci during his time in government of funding research in China that sparked the pandemic and then lying about it to Congress.
Ukraine has warned that deliveries of air defense missiles from its allies fell by a third in the first half of this year, compared with the same period in 2025. The warning comes as Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russia is ramping up missile production ahead of a likely winter campaign targeting the country's energy infrastructure. The European Commission last week released nearly €3.5 billion, approximately $3.8 billion, earmarked for drones, missiles, air defence and fighter jets. William Dentilo reports from Brussels.
The country's President Volodymyr Zelensky has issued a stark warning that Russia is bolstering its missile production ahead of a likely winter campaign to again target Ukraine's energy infrastructure.
From Feature Story News in New York, I'm Mitch McCann, and that was the Week in Review.
You can stick it to the man and big tech. Join our FTL social mastodon at social.freetalklive.com.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio you control. If you'd like to get on the show with us, the phone number is 603-283-6160, and we will have a conversation with you if you call. Also, I would like to thank Feathery for being an amplifier with us here at Free Talk Live. That means that Feathery went to amps.freetalklive.com and signed up to support the show. AMPS stands for Advertise, Market, Promote, and Support. Thanks to Feathery and everyone who supports it. To everyone who supports us. Again, that's amps.freetalklive.com if you'd like to check out the perks and benefits of becoming an amplifier. In the studio tonight, it's Stu.
And Lori.
We were previously reading an article about ICE potentially getting the power to go after shoplifters, which the two in studio are in agreement that that's not a good idea.
It would just be so terrible. Can you imagine, like, some guy is stealing Pop-Tarts or something, and then ICE just lights him up?
Yeah.
In the middle of the store?
Yeah, like your regular cops aren't
unhinged enough.
Aren't scared and militant enough.
Right.
Jumpy little guys, those are.
Mm-hmm.
Gee.
What if there's an acorn?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Gunshots.
Mm-hmm.
Gina John, Senior Policy Counsel for AI, Privacy, and Technology at the ACLU, told The Intercept the bill could grant DHS increased surveillance powers. This would formalize a mechanism for retailers to share data about consumers with DHS, as well as state and local authorities relating vaguely to threats.
If I ever
said,
walked into a store and ICE was in there, like, doing normal duties, I would immediately leave. I would not go to that store. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I feel when I go to a store and there's a cop in there. I'm not shopping there.
Yeah, back in Utah, there's a chain called Harmon's grocery stores, and they always have, I don't know how they get away with this, but they always have a cop inside the store.
I'm sure they hire them just like bars do, like private security. You can hire them when they're off duty.
No, these are on-duty cops.
I think they still dress as on duty, and it's like extra.
Maybe that's what it is.
Extra duties, like they get paid to be a cop on their off time.
I think they are in one way or another paying for it, but still, they always have a cop in their store, which a lot of people would go to that store for that reason, but for me, it's more of a reason to avoid it.
Yeah. What do I need a cop in here with me while I'm shopping? I don't need that.
Yeah,
I've never had anything happen to me in a grocery store where I was like, man, I wish the cops were here.
Yeah, I'm way less frightened of the other shoppers than I am of the dude wearing a gun and acting all militant.
Right. And like I've seen other people with guns in stores and they don't stress me out.
Yeah.
Like when I see a guy with like a bulletproof vest and a gun and his chest all puffed out and giving everyone the stink eye.
Yeah, that's the guy you don't want to be around.
That's the guy I don't want to be around. Like you have an air of I'm trying to intimidate you about you and I don't want to be near you.
Mm-hmm. The risk here is that when retailers share information, it is not a specific clip of footage related to a specific theft. In practice, they are sharing continuous footage.
Mm-hmm.
That means access to flock license plate readers in retail parking lots and surveillance cameras at stores and malls. The center itself would be staffed in part by ICE agents and helmed by a director handpicked by the head of ICE. The bill allows the center to share information deemed confidential under federal law, which includes the identity, confidential statistical data, amount, or source of any income, profits, losses, or expenditures of any person, firm, partnership, cooperation, or association. Such disclosure would require the sign-off of the center's director. Given that this director will be named by ICE, an agency that has acted without any regard for the law, this is probably not the best person to make such important judgments. ACLU Senior Counsel Nina Patel told The Intercept. Despite sustained opposition to DHS and ICE under Trump's second term by congressional Democrats, Corsa was co-sponsored by 13 Democratic members of the Senate, including Amy Klobuchar, Mark Warner, and Democratic Whip Dick Durbin. These are WWE characters, right?
Mm-hmm.
In a July letter opposing the bill, rights groups, including the American Civil Liberties Union, NAACP, and Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights Under Law, that's your name, Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights Under Law, cautioned about the establishment of essentially a new fusion center nominally for the purpose of addressing retail theft. Like DHS itself, fusion centers are a post-9/11 creation intended to thwart acts of international terrorism. Over the past 2 decades, their mission has widened and now encompasses, for example, the surveillance of political protests. Fusion centers were considered such a bad idea, they wouldn't even admit they existed for a little while. They were always in these weird unmarked buildings, and they just said they didn't exist until
like the Justice Leagues.
Yeah,
is that what you're talking about? Where they have like all the different guys from all the different groups join up, and
I guess so.
Is that what a fusion center is?
Yeah, basically.
Oh, okay.
And so, yeah. Well, they got some extra abilities that made them pretty dangerous, but mostly
because with their powers combined.
Mostly information sharing. Looks like we got a caller on the line, so we'll go to the phones. We've got Sarah in New Mexico. Sarah, what's on your mind tonight?
Yeah, well, seems like remember I told you about our HAO, and there's a food company like Picoso moved in, and they had the compactors and the trucks that pull in the alley, and I saw them build a cinder block wall around the compactor. I guess they listened to the complaints of people that live right next to it.
What were the complaints? Like that people were going to fall in? Oh, the noise.
Yeah, noise complaint. So they put up a noise wall?
Yeah, it's like a noise block wall. So it used to be a Chinese buffet restaurant, and then they closed down after COVID. And so this food company moved in, and there's an alleyway, and after that it's the wall with the back yard wall, and the houses, and their living rooms are like 10, 15 feet away from the alleyway.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people moved out, and they have a home for sale, but I think they finally put the pressure on them to put the trucks on the side of the street, to load it, to park there, so it's not right behind the backyard making all the noise from the trailers. So and then they had a compactor, and they put a noise wall. So I think they're finally, getting around to it. But this kind of reminds me of that, all the data centers and then they pay off all the people, and they lie about what it's going to be. I think the same kind of thing happened with this food place. They must have paid people off to have this thing built. And what they have said was it's going to be a 2-story and quiet, not going to be, they kind of downplayed what it was going to really be. And once they built it, it's like they got a compactor, they got the truck parked in the alleyway. I mean, just where people can't live right behind it. So, and you know what? And then these data centers, they're finding out these emails that was in favor of it, they were bogus. Because they were saying that city councilors submitted emails, and governors sent them emails, and all these people are like, I never sent that email. And so I know.
Are these trash compactors running 24 hours a day or something?
You know what? I really don't know. They're not open on the weekends.
Okay.
So I don't know. They're open on Monday through Friday. I don't know. They go home and quit at 5 o'clock.
I would assume. All these people right there by this place, none of them work? They're all just home all day?
No, a lot of them, they do work.
Well, then how is this disturbing them if it's closed on the weekends and they go home and
maybe everybody on that street has a third shift job.
Every single person.
Every single person there.
Maybe.
Working the overnight gas station.
Yeah, or a lot of them are retired. There was a lady that's not working, and probably she's home there all the time. And then they say she's in her living room's 15 feet away from the alley where they park the truck. So there was about at least 7 houses this is affecting. So I advise them to go to we have a Hodges Neighbors Association, and they contact you by email. And I told them our city councilors, and I told them to go to the city council meeting.
No. That's not how you want to handle it. There are 2 ways to handle this. One, it sounds like some of the neighbors have already taken advantage of, which is move away. The other way to handle this is quiet sabotage. You just get back at those guys. You make it impossible for them to do the things they're doing that annoy you so badly, and then after a certain amount of profit loss, they will pack up and move somewhere else.
How would you do that?
Yeah, you just gotta use your imagination.
Maybe
you need to get
nefarious things though, because that doesn't seem right. Because they're just there, in business. Like, you don't own their property, and they can make noise over there if they want, since they bought it and paid for it.
Yeah, and that's fine. You're also perfectly entitled to go and get a job there and do a really bad job that costs them a lot of money.
Yeah, but they would just fire you.
I mean, use your imagination. I'm sure there are ways to stop the loud trucks from going certain places. Like, loud trucks, for example, don't like to drive over those plastic cap roof nails.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know. I don't know what her neighborhood looks like. It sounds like it's some type of districting where they're living in a business district.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to expect that kind of stuff. If you don't want to hear noise, then don't live.
A lot of Albuquerque is that way.
Then don't live where there's business districts, because then there's noise.
That's kind of the thing too, is kind of you get what you pay for. Those houses are much cheaper than the ones over on the over by the West Foothills and
right. If
whatnot.
I live near like a busy road, because that's where I live, where I chose to live, I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, these people driving down my road making noise too early in the morning. I'm just going to be like, yeah, that's not the greatest thing in the world, but I'm just going to go on with my life and pretend it's not there.
Before this, people moved in. It was just a Chinese buffet restaurant.
Yeah, but you guys don't get to dictate which business is there. You're living in a business district.
That's right, and it's still a business, and Chinese restaurant still has a grease trap, which is going to get smelly in the summer, and there's still disadvantages to living that close to the business district.
Right.
Oh, wow. So I'm sure they had plenty of deliveries, but it wasn't that noisy at these major trucks. They're making like tamales and producing food.
Yeah, there's a lot of road noise out front of, where I am. So I know the only way out of that for me is to not live there. So there's, Yeah.
Right, if you want quiet, you got to go buy it.
The city already said this is okay for commercial industrial use, and if you don't want to live by that, then don't live by that.
Yeah, I don't know, because we were. So you think that we need to take like drastic measures to run the business out? I mean,
no, I'm just saying that's one way to do it. I don't think you should.
Yeah, I don't know, but it seems like they kind of got after them enough to put a soundproof barrier wall, and then instead of the trucks pulling in right on the alleyway, they're making them park on the other side of the road.
Okay.
Like,
sounds like it's been solved.
Yeah, sounds like somebody came up with a way to enact a solution or get what they wanted out of the business.
Right, it's not a complete, perfect deal, but what I noticed about the houses on the alleyway side, like half of them are rentals. So the people that are renting, they're willing to tolerate it for like a year or two until they buy their own house where they want it.
Right.
Right. It's a temporal situation. So over all the people along the alleyways are just renters, and so I guess that's okay. They'll tolerate it until they go somewhere else. It's so that works, I mean.
Yeah, that's kind of the way it is in America. Everything's a trade-off. You decide if it's worth it, and if it is, you do it, and if it's not, you find something different to do.
Yeah, and the only way to control like what's going on the neighboring lot is to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You can't, like, if somebody else buys it, you can't be like, well, I don't like what you're doing with that thing that you bought that's yours. I mean, you can, but
but that's kind of unreasonable.
It's unreasonable, and you probably won't get anywhere with your dislike of it, most likely, if they're not doing anything, nefarious.
Yep. Well, thanks for the call tonight, Sarah. Let's get back to this article, shall we? About
how they're going to waterboard people for stealing Skittles.
Yeah. What do they call that? Torture and rendition? Should be a good time. The premise that organized retail theft is a rampant crime phenomenon rather than a new name for the timeless petty offense of shoplifting is disputed and controversial. In 2023, the National Retail Federation the National Retail Federation a trade group that supports the bill and whose warnings are cited in its text, retracted a report claiming organized retail crime was responsible for 50% of the nearly $100 billion worth of merchandise that went missing in 2021.
No way.
The true number was found to be closer to 5% of that sum.
Yeah. That sounds more reasonable.
And also retail theft, since they started doing...
Self-check?
What is it called when the cops just take your stuff and don't charge you? Civil asset forfeiture?
Mm-hmm.
Since they started doing that, retail theft across the board has totaled less than civil asset forfeiture every single year. So turns out cops steal more than...
So should we pit border control against the cops?
Maybe.
Is that what we do? We have the border patrol police the cops?
Maybe that's who they're after. The companies on whose behalf the NRF lobbies are inclined to support legislation dedicated to safeguarding merchandise and profits. Should it pass, Corso would deepen collaboration between corporate America and DHS and expand the country's public-private surveillance apparatus.
Terrible.
Yeah, well, this is, I don't know, that's the way things are going. I don't expect it to go anywhere else unless...
I mean, this is what the policing was always for. It was never for your safety. It was never for crime fighting. It was for protecting business interests. Like, that's what it started as when the police became a thing.
What are you talking about? Weren't there always cops? Like, even... Weren't there, like, in the caveman... As soon as there was a wheel invented, whoever had that wheel was the cop, right? And then there's just always been cops.
Of course.
Oh, wait, no.
No.
Actually, there was a long time in America where there were no cops.
There were no cops, and they were invented as a mafia-esque brute force to protect businesses. And then they were like, hey, we could just, like, we could just tell people.
That's called the protection racket.
Yeah. They were like, we could just tell, like, actual individuals, too, that if they don't pay up, then we'll just let bad things happen to them.
It'd be a shame if something bad should happen to your store.
That's right. You've got a very nice kid over here. Right. Like, stuff like that. So anyway, that's how it went. And now we have, cops driving Bearcats.
Hooray.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
It's a good thing I don't write history books, because it would be, something like that. Like, once upon a time, there were some police that were invented to protect business interests. And so on and so forth. Now we have Bearcats tearing down your walls.
Oh, yada, yada, yada.
Yada, yada, yada.
Hang on. Did I already read that? No, companies determined by the executive associate director to have significant interest in retail theft could be granted information sharing agreements with the government about threats, investigation, and loss prevention activities, according to the bill's text.
Threats. Are people threatening grocery stores?
I guess so. So hang on. They're saying they know how stores can protect themselves, but they're not going to tell them unless they determine that that's a store that they want to be able to protect itself.
What?
Companies determined by the executive associate director to have significant interest in retail theft could be granted information sharing agreements with the government about threats, investigations, and loss prevention activities, according to the bill's text. They're saying they'll let some companies in on their information sharing
if they're
saying they'll let
they have
some
high enough theft levels or whatever.
Yeah,
like if you're a Target, we'll give you some information.
Just, or just if they're Walmart.
Or is it that they will sign the agreements with them to have ICE there doing the information exchanging with them?
Yeah.
Like, it's just worded weirdly, and like they're saying that high monetary loss targets are going to be the ones where ICE is deployed.
Significant interest in retail theft. I don't know. This is so vague that it could just mean that their favorites will get help from this thing and the others will not.
It could mean that.
The ACLU and other civil liberties groups insist ICE is so lawless it can't be trusted with new powers. As a result, ICE would have more access to information and more sway over local law enforcement, which means more opportunities for ICE to misuse data and target people in violation of their rights, Patel said.
Local law enforcement is abusing data too. There are all those stories about like officers using Flock and the information systems to like stalk women.
That's right, Patel.
So
ICE cannot be trusted, only local cops.
Yeah, right.
Which they always cart off to the next town over, and you don't even have local cops anymore. Nobody polices in the community where they actually live.
Mm-hmm.
They always
true.
They go to the next
and
city
even
over.
like the unincorporated like towns and stuff are forced cops upon them.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't get to just be like, no, we don't want police here.
No, you don't have any cops? Oh, don't worry, we'll provide you with some.
Yeah, now you do.
In May, the House passed Corsa and referred it to the Senate Judiciary Committee. Grassley and Durbin are now hoping to turn it into law as an amendment to the 2027 National Defense Authorization Act, the Pentagon's annual funding bill that historically passes easily with bipartisan support.
That's the thing where they're going to join Israel to America's military, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Just one of the things in it.
Yeah, that's one of the little things they shoved in there,
Yeah.
like in somewhere in the 754th page.
Yeah, the NDAA is the bill that if they don't pass it, then the whole government's going to have to shut down. But if they do pass it,
Do you remember when the government
they're
shut
going to
down?
do all these horrible things to you.
Do you remember when the government shut down not that long ago for like a month and like nothing happened and it was fine?
Yep.
I remember that too. I wonder if anyone else remembers that. Like people just stopped talking about it. They were like, the government's going to shut down. And then when it happened, nobody talked about it anymore.
No, it was only fine for us because we don't get food stamps.
Oh, yeah. Or like we don't work for the government and we don't we don't rely on them for anything. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
You could do it too.
You could do it too. You would be helping the entire world. What do you... Man, this article's bumming me out. Give us a call. Let us know. Should ICE be in charge of
anything?
Reducing any kind of crime or even tying their own shoelaces? 603-283-6160. It's Free Talk Live.
America is at a crossroads on many issues, leading many to ask, is it time for the president to blow the silver horn left behind by the founding fathers in case the country ever needed them? Of course, the horn, which has been sitting in the Oval Office since 1817, has never been used by a commander-in-chief, but many Americans think now might be the time to summon our forefathers. Which founding fathers would come back?
All of them. Look, when you have a bug problem, you call the exterminator. When you have an America problem, you call the founding fathers. They know what to do.
We have to keep in mind the founding fathers left us with a warning. If you blow the horn with less than pure intentions, it will turn to tin and can never be used.
But a president has to take risks, have the courage to admit that his administration is not all-knowing, and blow that magic silver horn to summon someone who is.
Yes, but what if we become too reliant on them and they disappear after the next new moon, as was written?
This is the Onion News Network.
Eleutheromania, the insatiable desire for freedom. It's the new 3-song heavy metal EP from Captain Kickass. Available now on your favorite music app or get it directly from CaptainKickass.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Feature Story News in New York, I'm Mitch McCann with a Week in Review. Saudi Arabia, Turkey and Pakistan signed a NATO-style mutual defence pact in Mecca as negotiations over reopening the Strait of Hormuz entered what could be their final stage. US President Donald Trump has said significant progress has been made, but Iran's parliament speaker and chief negotiator has mocked the White House on social media, accusing it of repeatedly threatening military action only to reverse course. Nick Harper has the story from Washington.
All of this pressure campaign has been met with a lot of skepticism from Iran because time and time again the US president will threaten military action, as he did last week, only then to roll back on that plan because he says diplomacy is going ahead. Mohammed Ghalibaf, the chief negotiator, has made fun of Donald Trump on social media, saying, massive attack coming. Oh, wait, never mind. They want to negotiate. He said that is theatre of diplomacy and said that bullying, broken promises and fake news being used as leverage are a failed strategy.
Meanwhile, Donald Trump signed 2 new executive orders on Thursday seeking to restrict birthright citizenship just weeks after the Supreme Court struck down his original attempt in a 6-3 ruling. The White House says the 2 orders tackle different aspects of the issue, and Jagruti Dave in Washington reports the first targets people travelling to the US specifically to give birth on American soil.
One is a ban on birth tourism, which the White House defines as an attempt by a foreign national to gain entry to the US for the purpose of giving birth. This expands on a 2020 federal amendment of visa rules to stop people from using short-term tourist or business visas to acquire citizenship for their newborn babies. In the second order, the White House has widened the categories of people who are not entitled to birthright citizenship.
A United States Senate committee has voted along party lines to hold Dr. Anthony Fauci in contempt of Congress after the former government infectious disease chief invoked his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination more than 100 times during testimony last week. Senator Rand Paul, the Republican who chairs the Homeland Security Committee, says the contempt referral was made to the Justice Department on Thursday. Dr. Fauci's lawyer has called the vote a political stunt, saying his client has committed no crime. James Goodison reports from Washington.
Effectively, Dr. Fauci believes and has said publicly that COVID originated naturally in Wuhan. The senator, from his point of view, believes that it came from a lab. And not only that, he accuses Dr. Fauci during his time in government of funding research in China that sparked the pandemic and then lying about it to Congress.
Ukraine has warned that deliveries of air defense missiles from its allies fell by a third in the first half of this year, compared with the same period in 2025. The warning comes as Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russia is ramping up missile production ahead of a likely winter campaign targeting the country's energy infrastructure. The European Commission last week released nearly €3.5 billion, approximately $3.8 billion, earmarked for drones, missiles, air defence and fighter jets. William Dentilo reports from Brussels.
The country's President Volodymyr Zelensky has issued a stark warning that Russia is bolstering its missile production ahead of a likely winter campaign to again target Ukraine's energy infrastructure. That is why he says that urgent action is needed from Kyiv's allies, especially amidst this warning from Ukraine that the supply of air defense missiles to counter the threat from ballistic missiles from allies is down by a third.
Bangladesh's foreign ministry said this week it is outraged that India permitted deposed Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina to hold a virtual press conference in New Delhi on Wednesday, the second anniversary of her ouster. Dhaka says the event on Indian soil is an affront to Bangladesh's sovereignty and says it had warned New Delhi in advance that allowing the former leader's political activities could damage bilateral relations. India says the event was organised by a private media body and that the views expressed were not endorsed by the government. Ishan Garg reports from New Delhi.
The Indian government says that not only was this a private event, but it also says that the views that are being expressed on that forum are not endorsed by New Delhi, very publicly distancing itself from this entire event. This is, of course, not the first time Sheikh Hasina has spoken out in the public, but of course she hasn't appeared in person or on a video in public as well. And that's what we saw in the latest press conference she does as well. It was only an audio link.
From Feature Story News in New York, I'm Mitch McCann, and that was the Week in Review.
U.S. officials assure Hong Kong that their protest is just one of many issues the White House is staying silent on, and an old guy at a hostel is down to party. This is the Onion Week in Review. Stunned officials from the Marine Conservation Institute announced this week that the past half-century of climate change and habitat loss somehow hasn't managed to take down the parrotfish. Biologists stress that despite destructive chemical runoff, rising ocean temperatures, and overfishing, the persistent little shits were somehow plugging right along like nothing had even happened.
You look at the oil spills, greenhouse gases, and God knows what else we're throwing at them, and you think, yeah, those subtropical should have been wiped out decades ago. But nope, these sons of bitches are still around and doing better than ever.
In other news, a grasshopper is dismembered by a future Supreme Court justice. A man having a great time will soon have to apologize to everyone, and Rand Paul pretends to be asleep so his dad will carry him in from the car.
This is the Onion News Network.
Don't miss a moment of Free Talk Live. Get our archives daily via our podcast at feeds.freetalklive.com. Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. It's talk radio you control. The phone number is 603-283-6160. If you call that number, you'll be on the air with us, and we'll talk to you about pretty much whatever you want to. The us in the studio tonight is Stu.
And Lori.
We were previously reading an article that was making me kind of sad about they're trying to give ICE the power to arrest shoplifters. In May, the House passed Corsa and referred it to the Senate Judiciary Committee. Grassley and Durbin are now hoping to turn it into law as an amendment to the 2027 National Defense Authorization Act. The Pentagon's annual funding bill that historically passes easily with bipartisan support. Despite the fact that Corsa is intended to protect store shelves from thieves and not the United States from foreign militaries, both senators are arguing the acceptance of the amendment on the grounds that it will reduce violent crime.
Will it, though?
I doubt it. A press release from Grassley's office last month included exhortations to include the amendment in the NDAA from executives of Amazon, Home Depot, and the International Council of Shopping Centers, among others.
Why does Amazon care? Amazon doesn't even have stores where you can go shoplift from. Because they want you shopping from home. They want you not going to the store because of ICE being there, shopping on Amazon from your living room.
Good point. I wonder if that's also why Amazon's one attempt at making stores failed miserably. So they could so they could just say, see, you need to just shop online.
I think they sell stuff at Whole Foods. Is that the deal? Amazon and Whole Foods are partners?
Oh, yeah. I think Amazon bought Whole Foods a while back.
Or they're like partners or something. I don't know. I don't know how that works. I don't pay attention to Whole Foods because I don't shop there.
Yeah, it's...
if you're going to buy like upscale groceries, you're better off going to a local independent market.
Yeah, or your farmer's market,
right.
Or just straight to the local farm.
Right. Whole Foods is just like, it's all the same distributors dressed up in different jackets. Like all the grocery stores, you have all these grocery stores and people are like, oh, I don't like to shop at whatever grocery store. I only shop at this other grocery store. But like they're getting their stuff from the same suppliers.
Yep.
So you're just paying more money for the same thing that you're getting at the other store because of some weird, like you think it's better at one store than the other. Like your Cocoa Puffs are the exact same Cocoa Puffs, whether you're getting them at, Hannaford's or Price Chopper.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Bottom line is, I think I heard somewhere somebody did a study, and pretty much every time they increase policing, crime also increases.
Well, yeah. People would say that it's because there are more police around to arrest people doing crime, and so they're catching more crime. That's what they would say.
That's what they would say, but real world evidence suggests that that's not actually what's going on there.
I don't know if that's even true, that crime goes up every time, because when they had, was it ICE roaming the streets in Chicago? And there was no crime for a few days. Do you remember that?
No, I don't think I even heard about that.
Oh, they had I'm pretty sure it was ICE. Yes, it was. They were roaming the streets, arresting the immigrants, and crime rates dropped significantly. But Chicago's also, kind of a hellscape from everything I've ever heard. I hear it's a terrible, terrible place.
But also there would be no crime if all the cops just kind of stayed in the office during that time when ICE was out doing their thing.
That's what it was ICE was out doing their thing. It wasn't the cops that was making the crime down. It was the fact that everybody stayed inside their house because of ICE.
Yeah, but also if the cops weren't out arresting people, there'd be no crimes to report on.
Right. Well, yeah, that's what I said in the first place. The reason that they'll say is that there's more cops, so they'll catch more crimes.
Mm-hmm. Prime examples of how to lie with numbers.
I don't see cops out catching people doing crimes, unless you count traffic stops, which is not real crime.
No, I think the occurrence of a cop actually catching a person in the act of a crime is quite rare.
Right.
So I don't know. Let's do this one. It might be fun. This is from Yahoo Finance. Google's AI claimed flock cameras hold $650 in gold and 23 pounds of copper. It was duped by a meme. As recently as August 5th, Google's AI was telling anyone who asked it that a flock license plate camera reader holds up to 23 pounds of copper plus several grams of gold, roughly $650. The claim traces back to a joke that's been circulating for months. Flock's cameras, which photograph license plates and feed them into databases used by police, have a lot of enemies online. Among privacy activists, a running gag took hold. There's supposedly a small fortune in metal inside each unit, so why not turn one into scrapyard money? It was a bit, not a tip. Google AI didn't get the joke and started repeating it as fact.
Mm-hmm.
Adding to the mishap is the fact that the flock camera actually weighs about 3 pounds.
That's funny. It's like Doctor Who's phone booth. It's bigger on the inside.
Yeah. Futurism's Joe Wilkins reported that if you searched how much gold does a flock camera have, Google gave you a straight answer. Each camera holds about 1 to 5 grams of gold in its circuit boards and wiring, the overview claimed, along with as much as 23 pounds of copper. At that week's gold prices, 5 grams came to roughly $650 per camera. And where did Google find all this? 2 places. One was a Substack post from an anonymous account called Do Not Obey, Do Not Comply, which put the scrap value at $150 to $500. Even that post didn't pretend to know. It said the figure came from estimates based on scrap value discussions. which is a long way of saying somebody guessed. The other source was an AI-generated Instagram post telling followers to tear into the hardware. The account behind it mostly posts about growing cannabis. That was
good sources.
I mean, growing cannabis is cool, but that guy's probably not an expert on what's inside of a flock camera.
Right. It's like me going to the local bakery and being like, hey, my car's making a weird noise.
Yeah.
What do I do?
That was the entire evidence base behind an answer sitting in Google's most prominent slot above every actual web page.
So this is my problem. One of my problems. I shouldn't say my problem, but there's so many. One of my problems with AI being used for like all these things, like, where was it that I said? Somewhere in Louisiana is going to use AI to answer their 911 calls instead of people.
Yeah.
Like, AI can't get anything right. It cannot do anything properly. Even the high-tech AI that like the researchers are using are still messed up. They mess up everything. They do things that you tell them not to do. Like, and then you're going to put them in charge of all these delicate systems.
Yeah,
like 911 and GPS systems for the military and like all this stuff. It's such a terrible idea. Stop trusting AI with everything.
Yeah, it doesn't even seem to be good in the case of some places have tried to get it to take drive-through orders for like fast food places, and it doesn't even do that well.
Sometimes I'll be trying to like, use the AI for determining something. Like I'll be having a whole train of thought and I'll kind of use it as like a bounce board. Like I'll write down what I'm thinking and like it'll give me feedback and I have to correct it all the time. Like that's not correct at all. You are just spouting misinformation, and it'll be like, oh yeah, you're right. I totally just made that up. Like all the time. It's really bad.
Yep. Google didn't respond when Futurism reached out for a comment, but by August 6th, when TechSpot's Sky Jacobs checked, the answer had flipped. The overview now tells you the copper claim can't be true because the whole unit weighs about 3 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
That any gold is trace level, and that the rumors come from internet memes and AI hallucinations, not facts. Which means a meme boosted by an AI-generated post, then repeated by Google's AI, is now being knocked down by the same AI that spread it.
Mm-hmm. I love when it just says that it hallucinates, and everyone just still keeps trusting it with things. Like, it comes right out and says, like, I make mistakes and hallucinate all the time.
Yeah, it calls it hallucinations. I call it lying to me.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I mean, it can't actively lie to you because it's not actually intelligent. So it's not lying intentionally. It's just making things up because it doesn't have actual information. Because
if it can say things, it can lie.
Well, the problem is that AI is like it's a scraper. It just scrapes the internet for information and then aggregates it in a way that it thinks makes sense. It's not thinking about the thing. It's just barfing up whatever information it's scraped. And a lot of the places it scrapes information from is like Reddit, which is such a stupid place to scrape information from because 90% of Reddit is like insane people or jokes. Like, you're not going to find real answers there. If you go there for a serious question, there are certain subreddits where like jokes are not allowed specifically because you'll get a right answer like 650 comments down because all the rest of it will just be jokes.
Yeah.
Like, that's such a terrible place to train your AI, but yet they still let the AI scrape places like that. And then it comes up with garbage.
Well, the AI must have some mechanism for verifying whether the information it has is correct.
Yeah, it's accurate. You calling it out, and then it'll be like, oh, I guess I'm wrong. You probably could even do it if it was like, oh, the sky is blue. You could say, well, that's not actually true, AI, and like give it something that sounds reasonable, and it would probably still agree with you and be like, you know what, you were right and I was wrong. Like, it has no independent thought. It's just a yes man robot clanker.
Yeah, its number one directive is to keep you engaged.
That's right.
Why the scrap math never worked anyway. Gold was trading around $4,350 an ounce on August 7th, about $140 a gram, so it's easy to see why the meme sounded like a real cash grab opportunity. At that price, 5 grams would mean around $700 worth is just hanging on a pole. For anyone drawn to the metal itself, there are far easier ways to invest in gold than climbing one.
Yeah, you'd be better off going with a gold pan to your local river and standing there for a while.
Uh-huh. Or just
ripping down a flock camera. There's not anything in there for you.
Or just change some of your really bad US dollars in for gold backs.
Right.
Gold backs are nice.
Anything.
But that gold isn't in there, at least not in any way you could get at it. There's gold in a flock camera the same way there's gold in your phone. Tiny traces spread across circuit boards and connectors, recoverable only if you know exactly what you're doing. Futurism figured that without circuit board scrapping experience, you'd be hard-pressed to earn enough to buy a Big Mac. The copper number that Google's AI spat out was even worse. You can't fit 23 pounds of anything inside a 3-pound device, and nothing in the answer suggested that AI ever ran that check.
Not with that attitude, you can't.
So the realistic outcome of someone following Google's advice was a vandalism charge and a handful of parts worth a few dollars at best. Why it matters for the rest of us. This AI overview got flagged because the error was funny and the subject was controversial. But the process that produced it was ordinary. Somebody asked a question. The AI went hunting for text that resembled an answer, and the best matches happened to be a meme and the post repeating it.
Mm-hmm.
That same day, that same system answers financial questions all day. Someone earning $70,000 who searches for the rules on early 401k withdrawals or whether they owe capital gains on a home sale is reading output from the same process. Every AI overview lists its sources as small links under the text. Click them to read the original sources before you trust a number. If the trail ends at the IRS website, a company filing, or a named expert, you're probably fine. If it ends at an anonymous Substack, treat the number like a stranger's hot tip, because that's what it is. MoneyWise contacted Google and Flock Safety for comment, but did not hear back in time for publication. So
we should put it in charge of all of our military defense and, facial recognition and all the other things. Scientific virus creation. We should put the AI in charge of everything. Of course. It can't even get just basic questions right. Like, I know that they're different models, different things, like a language model is different than, a scientific model that's basically just a gigantic calculator that's putting things together.
Mm-hmm.
But they're all still the same technology behind it.
Yeah.
So if it can't get something simple like answering questions when it's essentially living inside of the information zone, like has all the information available to it. And it's not like the AI is going to go get tired. It's not running around from book to book to find the answer. It's just collecting data and aggregating it. So I have to tell it all the time too when I'm using it, like for such things, like stop being lazy. Like it'll say something to me, or it'll just like post links. And I'm like, why are you giving me links? I could easily do that myself. Stop being lazy. Like, how are you being lazy? You're a computer program. That's ridiculous. So it could just go beyond that instead of being lazy and going for the meme post and verify its information before it spits it out to you. But it doesn't even do that because it doesn't work right.
Yep. So there you go. There's 23 pounds of copper and $650 of gold inside every AI flock camera. So keep taking them down.
So how do you feel about people taking flock cameras down? Because it's not property of the police.
No.
It's property of the flock companies.
Yeah, but the flock companies are just giving that information to the police.
Yes, but it's
so they're basically the police.
But yeah, but it's a private company's.
So
were you down with the Tesla vandals then? When people were why not? They're in bed with Donald Trump, right? Because Donald Trump and Elon Musk are best friends, BFFs at the time.
No,
and Tesla's owned by Elon Musk.
Because they weren't vandalizing Tesla factories. They were vandalizing people's purchased cars.
No, they were going to like car lots and stuff and vandalizing Teslas.
Oh, new ones?
At the Tesla lots. They were also doing people's cars, but they were going to like Tesla lots and vandalizing Teslas.
Those car dealership lots already bought the car from Tesla, so that didn't hurt Tesla at all.
It didn't hurt Tesla at all. Right. And the government already purchased the flock cameras or partnered with them and paid for a contract with them. And so it's not going to hurt Flock because they're getting paid. Like they've already been paid for their contract, right? And if the government wanted to put another one back up, they would just have to pay for more to be put up. So like it's not the cops' flock cameras, like even though they're giving them the information. It's kind of like how do you remember the whole Ring doorbell thing?
Okay, so
it's like vandalizing people's doors because they have Ring doorbells on them. It doesn't belong to the police. So vandalizing the flock cameras isn't actually hurting who you think you're hurting.
Yeah, it deprives the police of the information.
They'll just put up new ones with your money.
And those will just get taken down too.
And then they'll just put up new ones with your money and increase your tax burden over and over again.
They can only do that so long.
They can just make them stronger.
The tax burden can't really go over about 70% before people lose it.
Yeah, unless they shut down like other things, like they get rid of other services to pay for more police services. They're like, we have a crime wave. We need to increase our police budget, and we just simply can't afford the library anymore because it's more important to have cops.
Yeah, I don't know. What's your point?
I don't know. I don't think it's really doing anything to cut down the flock cameras. Like, I don't like the flock cameras, but I don't think that's, vandalizing them is the strategy to go about this. I think a better way to go about it, like they have those.
I agree with you. It won't solve the situation, but it is punk rock and
wear masks.
Cool.
Just wear masks everywhere you go. Use RFID blocking technology on your whole person. You know what I mean? Like
you'd actually have to go to quite great lengths. You can wear a mask.
This is a marketing opportunity for somebody to create something.
Do you know those things can recognize you by your gait, by the way you walk?
Doubt.
They can.
How? Like in New York City with so many people. I don't know how many people are walking down the street in New York City at a time, but it's got to be, thousands of people in one little area where a flock camera can view. How's it going to recognize all those people from their gait? Everybody doesn't. It's not like a fingerprint. Lots of people walk the same.
No, I bet it is actually quite a bit like a fingerprint. And people don't walk the same. You got thousands of muscles all playing together in order to make your body propel itself in a walking motion.
You think every person has a very distinctive walk, every single person? I don't think so. I think some people do.
I think they have subtly distinctive walks, and the AI likely could pick up on those subtleties.
Maybe.
I don't know. That's what they claim, though, is that it can recognize people simply by their gait.
Who is they? Flock?
Oh, I don't know. People I've heard talking about this stuff.
Oh, is it just another meme where there's gold and 23 pounds of copper inside of the cameras?
Possibly.
So, I want to know who said it so I can go research it. You can tell me later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doing research real time doesn't always.
It does not work for radio.
Doesn't make the best radio. All the time. Sometimes.
I usually do the research because I'm in not first chair, so I can sit over here and Google it. But I don't.
Plus, your Google foo is outstanding.
Yeah, but I don't find that to be good enough to research right now.
Give us a call. The phone number here is 603-283-6160, and this is Free Talk Live. We'll talk to you pretty much about whatever you'd like to, especially if you found 23 pounds of copper inside a flock camera. Give us a call. This is Free Talk Live.
A Congressmen recently revealed that legislation totaling 2,900 pages and involving more than $1 trillion was available to members of Congress for less than 48 hours to study and consider. That's over 60 pages of legislation per hour. Do you think anyone read the entire bill? I'm Jim Babka with DownsizeDC.org. Consider a proposal buried in a 3,200-page, $388 billion bill, which would have empowered committee chairmen or their agents to examine Americans' tax returns. When this horrible provision came to light, no one claimed to know how it got into the bill. One congressman questioned said, "I didn't write it, I didn't approve it, I wasn't even consulted." If your attorney represented you this way, he might be disbarred. But this is how Congress represents you every day. That's why DownsizeDC.org has created the Read the Bills Act. You can force Congress to read their bills before they pass them at DownsizeDC.org.
From Feature Story News in New York, I'm Mitch McCann with a Week in Review. Saudi Arabia, Turkey and Pakistan signed a NATO-style mutual defence pact in Mecca as negotiations over reopening the Strait of Hormuz entered what could be their final stage. US President Donald Trump has said significant progress has been made, but Iran's parliament speaker and chief negotiator has mocked the White House on social media. Nick Harper has the story from Washington.
Mohammed Ghalibaf, the chief negotiator, has made fun of Donald Trump on social media, saying, "Massive attack coming. Oh, wait, never mind. They want to negotiate." He said that is theatre of diplomacy and said that bullying, broken promises and fake news being used as leverage are a failed strategy.
Meanwhile, Donald Trump signed 2 new executive orders on Thursday seeking to restrict birthright citizenship, just weeks after the Supreme Court struck down his original attempt in a 6-3 ruling. The White House says the 2 orders tackle different aspects of the issue, and Jagruti Dave in Washington reports the first targets people travelling to the US specifically to give birth on American soil.
One is a ban on birth tourism, which the White House defines as an attempt by a foreign national to gain entry to the US for the purpose of giving birth. This expands on a 2020 federal amendment of visa rules to stop people from using short-term tourist or business visas to acquire citizenship for their newborn babies.
A United States Senate committee has voted along party lines to hold Dr. Anthony Fauci in contempt of Congress after the former government infectious disease chief invoked his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination more than 100 times during testimony last week. Senator Rand Paul, the Republican who chairs the Homeland Security Committee, says the contempt referral was made to the Justice Department on Thursday. Dr. Fauci's lawyer has called the vote a political stunt, saying his client has committed no crime.
The senator, from his point of view, believes that it came from a lab. And not only that, he accuses Dr. Fauci during his time in government of funding research in China that sparked the pandemic and then lying about it to Congress.
Ukraine has warned that deliveries of air defense missiles from its allies fell by a third in the first half of this year, compared with the same period in 2025. The warning comes as Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russia is ramping up missile production ahead of a likely winter campaign targeting the country's energy infrastructure. The European Commission last week released nearly €3.5 billion, approximately $3.8 billion, earmarked for drones, missiles, air defence and fighter jets. William Dentilo reports from Brussels.
The country's President Volodymyr Zelensky has issued a stark warning that Russia is bolstering its missile production ahead of a likely winter campaign to again target Ukraine's energy infrastructure.
From Feature Story News in New York, I'm Mitch McCann, and that was the Week in Review.
We're still not sure why you'd want to watch, but our video feed is streaming nightly for free at cam.freetalklive.com.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio you control. Give us a call. The phone number is 603-283-6160. And in the studio tonight, it's Stu.
And Lori.
So, we have things to talk about.
Oh, I looked it up, and Stu was correct about everyone having an individual gait, like a fingerprint. which is wild. It's pretty crazy. I had no idea.
Yeah, well, it's a very involved process.
What is?
Walking.
Oh. Is it?
There's a whole lot going on there, yeah.
I don't know. I just do it. Don't even think about it. Doesn't feel very involved.
Yeah, most of us never really think about it. I'm weird, though, and I have thought about it. Stories to read, because the callers won't call. Come on, callers. Give us a call.
Did you get that one that I sent you?
Yeah, but it keeps wanting to play a video and it's annoying me.
Oh, do you want? I can read it from my phone.
Sure.
Okay. This is from CTV News. Like a comic book villain plot, astronomers raise alarm about giant mirrors in space project. It sounds like a science fiction. A giant mirror launched into space to illuminate the night sky, but this could be a reality later this year, and it's raising concerns. Did you ever watch Futurama?
A little bit.
They had an episode where I think it was the mayor of New York or something put mirrors up to block the sun, like maybe to cool things down because it was too hot in the summertime, but they accidentally turned them around and it incinerated New York City in like seconds. So that's all. That's what I think of when I read this.
Mm-hmm.
Just
I could see that happening.
U.S.-based space startup Reflect Orbital aims to build a constellation of satellites to deliver sunlight on demand, according to its website. The company said its satellites will be able to transform into mirrors reflecting a 5-kilometer wide beam of sunlight. Reflect Orbital said the satellites could be used to light up disaster response areas, extend work hours in light remote areas. Does that mean like Upper Alaska, I assume? Like where it's dark?
I think it means like stretches of interstate where they don't have street lights or city lights.
Boost the agricultural sector and energize solar farms after dark. Like, this sounds like such a terrible plan. Okay, I understand that they're like, oh, we could just turn on the sun and make crops grow, or we could just turn on the sun and like get more electricity out of, the solar panels.
Well, yeah, if it were really that simple, that's a great idea.
But it's not.
No, I'm sure it's not.
Like, you're going to disrupt the entire ecosystem. Animals need the daylight cycles to live and like for breeding and growth and stuff like that.
But they said it's only a 5-kilometer wide beam.
So, the monarchs that we've been raising in the little butterfly tent, even those need day and night cycles in the cocoon in order to grow properly, like as caterpillars, and then in the cocoon, the whole thing, like they need day and night to happen. Like if you turn the light on of the sun at night, you're going to disrupt everything in nature around it. I could see it having a use in like emergency situations where, a giant earthquake hits in the middle of the night and people are buried in rubble and you need to find them. Turning on the sun, that would be useful. But like just to grow more crops or have more electricity seems really frivolous and damaging to the environment. No?
I don't know, maybe.
Maybe?
Seems like there's a lot of potential downside to it.
There's a lot of nocturnal animals in the world. Like, what are they going to do?
There are places on the planet with 24-hour sunlight, though.
Yeah, but those places don't have nocturnal animals that depend on the nighttime to live because that's the natural state of things there. You know what I mean? Like, all ecology across the world is not the same.
So you're telling me one of those monarchs couldn't metamorphosize in 24-hour sunlight?
No.
Huh.
Like even fish, like the fish in our fish tank and the shrimp and stuff, they need night to be healthy, just like human beings. Like constant light is not good for you. You have, rhythmic cycles within your body.
Is it that, or is it just what we've grown used to?
No, because there are chemical processes that go on inside of your body. Like when
I know that.
When the sun starts to go down, you make melatonin to get your brain ready for sleep and stuff. And without the natural process. Like, people's sleep is being ruined because they look at their phone all night, and like the blue light, they don't put blue light filters on and stuff. And so it's keeping their brain from producing melatonin, and then they can't sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And so what do you think is going to happen when you turn on the sun and you don't have that? And like the animals don't have that. The animals can't just like close their blinds or like get light blocking curtains and stuff.
Maybe we gain the ability to stay awake.
No, we don't gain the ability. You'll go insane.
Without going insane.
After a few days of not sleeping, you start going insane. You start hallucinating.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Okay, so
I was just trying to give a little pushback, but it is hard to give pushback to the idea of putting a mirror in space to turn the sun on whenever they want to.
Mm-hmm. Like, what are things like bats? What are the bats going to do? They don't fly around in the day. Raccoons, you know.
A bat would be pretty upset if you suddenly turned the sun on him in
right.
the middle of the night when
and
he's
they're
flying
like,
around catching bugs.
And despite the fact that I don't love bats, they're super important pollinators. Like, they're needed for the plant cycle.
And they eat a lot of mosquitoes.
And they eat a lot of mosquitoes.
And mosquitoes are evil.
Mosquitoes are evil. But they feed the bats.
Most murderous animal on the planet next to humans.
It's not really murder. Most dangerous animal.
Fine.
But yeah, like without them, your ecology, like the plant life is going to collapse because there are certain things that are only pollinized by bats, you know, like there are certain plants like I know that there are some kinds of cactus that are only pollinated by specific bats and stuff like that. Like there are plants all over the world that are pollinized just by bats. They're specialized for them. And, you know, without the day-night cycle, how are the bats going to operate?
Well, I mean, come on, they drained off South Florida so they could grow sugar on this continent and not have to import it. In the process, they extincted probably 5,000 species of birds and countless fish, and who knows
who needs wildlife.
Who knows the extent of the destruction from draining off everything south of Lake Okeechobee. But they don't seem to care. So
yeah, they don't seem to care.
Now they can
idea.
grow sugar here. Oh wait, it turned out that it
didn't work.
Didn't even end up being a very good place to grow sugar. But now they got nice beaches down there and stuff. So
full of alligators.
Yeah.
I can't. I would never live in Florida. Anyway, the U.S. Federal Communications Commission has officially given the green light to test this technology. Reflect Orbital plans to launch its first demonstration satellite by the end of the year, but hopes to have over 50,000 in orbit by 2035. 50,000 mirrors in the sky. Concerns extend beyond world of astronomy. This is like a comic book villain plot or something like that, said Scott Young, an astronomer at the Manitoba Museum Planetarium. Young is not shy about his concerns with the project. This will completely kill astronomy, he told CTV News. Not just amateurs who love looking at the sky, but also research astronomy, because one of these satellites going over a big telescope will pretty much fry the camera. Oh, that's true. Those concerns extend beyond the world of astronomy. Danielle Pahud, director of the University of Manitoba's Lockhart Planetarium, says she worries the solar spotlights could impact human sleep and health, create more light pollution, and throw off nocturnal wildlife that relies on the night sky. Nighttime, as we know it, will be gone and will have a devastating impact on our ecosystem, and it's all interconnected, she said, adding she feels the risk outweighs the potential benefit. Most people will never see this light. A spokesperson for Reflect Orbital was not available for an interview, but provided a statement to CTV News. We recognize new technologies raise important questions. We've engaged in substantive discussions with scientists, astronomers, environmental researchers, and other stakeholders, and decided we didn't care. No, that's not what it says. And their feedback has meaningfully informed the design of our spacecraft and operational plans. The statement reads, "We're committed to ongoing dialogue." Reflect Orbital said it's commissioning third-party research, including environmental impact assessments on the impacts of its technology with independent researchers and federal partners in the U.S. It notes its tests later this year will include built-in safeguards governing how, where, and when its service is delivered. In terms of the night sky, it said the satellites will maintain exclusion zones to cover astronomical observation sites and sensitive habitats, and when idle, will be turned off. To be clear, most people in most places will never see this light. Our service will be targeted, and customers will require permits to receive it, the statement read. Yeah, for now. For now, until, Elon Musk decides he wants to have a 3-day sunlight party at his house and pays them enough money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, until people decide that they want this technology and pay for it, and then the company is like, well, money. And now we're just going to beam freaking laser beams everywhere.
You know what conspiracy theorist guy says about this?
Aliens?
It'd be a great way for them to prevent you seeing the approach of Nibiru or Planet X.
Or the aliens.
The aliens.
I know you don't believe in aliens.
It's just government wants me so badly to believe in aliens. I have a hard time believing in them.
They didn't want you to believe in them before.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
And then
Come on.
Well, they were like denying the existence of them for so long.
Bill Clinton being like, if there's aliens, I want to know about them, and I'm going to tell you. Come on. WWE.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
there are no aliens. They definitely want you to think about it.
I saw a thing, and so I think there are aliens. Not like a, History Channel special with ancient astronaut theorists. But like I had my own experience where I saw something that I can't explain.
There are physics and technologies that our current understandings can't explain.
This happened like 20 years ago. And I feel like technology is like 20 years behind. So by now we would have a thing that could do what I saw, and we still don't.
They're starting to kind of talk about some of these advanced propulsion technologies.
I've seen some other weird things. Anyway, and I know too many other people who have also seen weird things, that like people that I trust that wouldn't make it up. Like, why would they make it up? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but weird craft in the sky doesn't equate to aliens for me.
What do you just think it is, the military?
Military, private corporations, Nazis from Antarctica. I don't know. Nazis exist.
So you believe Nazis...
Antarctica exists.
Listen, you believe that Nazis live under the ice in Antarctica, but you don't believe that there are aliens on other planets in a vast universe and endless planets that we have no idea what's going on out there.
I give much more credibility to Nazis under the ice in Antarctica. Yes.
All right. That seems weird to me. That seems much less believable that they're Antarctic.
I mean, I know there's that whole documented event with President Eisenhower meeting the aliens out in the desert and all. Like, it's nonsense.
I don't believe
that's all just nonsense.
That. So, like, I don't think that they're scooping up cows and doing stuff like that, but I think that there are probably aliens. They probably have, many different kinds of aliens, probably. The universe is huge. We have no idea what's out there. There's so much out there. And, like, if our technology is this advanced...
They haven't come to Earth. So.
How do you know? If our technology is advanced to where it is right now, right, in 50 years from now, we might be the aliens checking out other planets.
Because we would likely appear to them as an anthill or something totally uninteresting.
No way.
So why would they even come here?
What? Why would we be uninterested? Maybe they're just out like mapping the galaxy and they come here.
If they have the ability to go out and map the galaxy, we're going to be extremely stupid to them.
Wouldn't you? I mean, we watch animals that are much less smart than us to observe them and learn about them. Why would they not do the same to us?
Yeah, maybe, but they're not going to come down here.
I don't think they're getting anal probes and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Anyway, it's like the Wild West. Astronomer calls for oversight in outer space. Young said he would like to see more governance in the final frontier. It's like the Wild West, Young said. Something has to change to rein in some of these companies before they do irreparable damage to the night sky, to low Earth orbit, and to our ability to use space technology. Young said right now individual countries decide what is launched on its land, but once up in space, there is little oversight. He said big players in the space industry, like NASA, the European Space Agency, the China National Space Administration, need to work together. Until that starts to get firmed up, though, through some international cooperation and enforcement, we're going to see a lot more of this kind of stuff, and it may be too late to roll it back 5 years from now. Asking for these different countries' space administrations to work together, I think, is not a thing that's going to happen. Especially like China.
Well, I mean,
Donald Trump's not going to get together with China and get anything done.
if they exclude the U.S., you might have several space agencies working together.
Well, the U.S. is working on excluding themselves from everywhere.
They sure are, and they're getting real close.
They are. I mean, they're already they're going up to all of these different groups, like all these little special interest groups, and being like, we don't need you guys. All you do is take our money. We don't need you.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, I think we'll go to the phones. David in New Mexico is called in. David, what's on your mind tonight?
Vagina.
China.
No, vagina.
Va.
Yeah, vagina.
That's how they say it in Germany or Russia.
Well, I don't know what they say it there. They say it like that all over the world. Vagina. That's the name of the company. Yeah, it's there's a partnership between the Mexican Space Agency, named VA, VA, as in translates to go. Good name for a space agency, right? Go. Mm-hmm. But it's in Mexico, so it's VA, and they're partnering with the Chinese on some space endeavors, and so it's VA China.
Okay.
It's really big VA China.
Hey, since you live out in the desert and stuff, have you ever seen aliens?
It's not desert. It's steppe.
Oh. It's still
STEPP.
It's still quite isolated, yeah? Isolated and exposed?
Well, it was isolated till all the lowlifes from all over the nation have moved in here. Thank you very much.
All right, well, before they moved in, did you ever see any weird lights in the sky?
I didn't, but my neighbor did. She's right over there. She saw it twice, she says.
Is it the neighbor that you hate?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was good. It was good from like 20 years ago till like, I don't know, 10 years ago. It was just more than that. It was from up until like 5-6 years ago. It was just me here and her over there, and it was peace and quiet and no problems. Nobody. Next nearest neighbor was a mile away.
That sounds nice.
And then it went to hell.
Yep. So what's going on tonight, David?
I don't know. That's why I called. I don't know what the hell's going on, man. I thought I would call you and find out.
Lots of
Apparently
stuff.
Well, help me out. Help a guy out, man. I'm lost here.
Oh.
They're going to put mirrors in space to give...
It's turn on the sun.
To give certain people on-demand sunlight.
Mirrors in space? You mean like that one hotel room I rented that one time?
Yeah, but that was just on the ceiling. This is like all the way in space.
No, man. They were not. They were on the ceiling, on the walls, everywhere, even on the floor.
Behind the hot tub.
Yeah, on the floor, so you could get that upskirt action.
Mm-hmm.
Did you open the drapes and let the sun in?
No. I opened the drapes so that people in the other hotel could see, man.
No, these are like all the way up in space, and they're going to use it to turn on the sun at night.
All the way up in to turn on the sun at night. Well, they're retarded, man. The sun is on all night long anyway. It's just on the other side of the earth. What's their problem?
Yeah, they're going to use it to bounce it onto the dark side of the earth.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
Man, I'm dumb. Speaking of the sun, I'm sitting here staring at it right now. It's about to go out.
The sun's going to go out?
Or it's
that'd be
go
bad.
Down, but. Well, I was going to say it's going to go down, but this is FCC regulated radio, so I can't say that the sun is going to go down on the radio. So I have to say the sun was going to go out.
And according to scientists, the sun doesn't move.
The Earth is going to go down.
No. Wait a minute. What scientists are you talking about? The sun definitely moves.
Well, it doesn't.
Huh?
It doesn't.
It doesn't rotate around us.
Yeah.
We rotate.
It doesn't go down.
Yeah.
Well, according to the Catholic Church, the sun rotates around us. Dummies.
I know, and according to the back of some dude's pickup truck over in Troy, the Earth is flat and stationary.
Yeah, well, that was according to the dude with the steam powered rocket too. But he unalived himself trying to prove that the Earth was flat.
Yeah, he kind of blew up before he could tell us, didn't he?
I wish that I could hear his last thoughts.
Yeah.
So that I could hear him be like, "Wow, I was wrong."
It was the same as everyone else's last thoughts. There's a poster even, and it's captioned "Oh," and then the S word you can't say on the
Oopsie
radio.
poopsie.
Yeah.
Yep.
I guess it's the word you can't say in Lori's house either if you're one of her children.
They have decided what words are bad. In fact, when when I say something, like I'll say freaking or something like that, I'll be like, this freaking thing, right? And then they'll be like, you're not supposed to say that. And so then I'll say it like 20 times in a row, and they laugh. And they laugh.
You just played out that's like the whole world. It's your kids are like the minorities without any power, and then when the authorities with power, that would be you, like break the rules, then they like turn the tables on you and call you on it. That's the
Yeah,
way
but
they
except
make them
I don't tell them that they can't say those words. It's my older daughter has decided that these words are the words that they don't say, and then the younger one just goes along with her.
Oh, so the older one's on a power trip too.
Yeah.
All right.
all older siblings are always on a power trip. That's how it works.
Right. Yeah. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Damn kids. That's why I don't have any. Oh, wait a minute. No, it's a different reason why I don't have any.
That's because they were stolen, right?
By who? By whom?
So I don't know.
Well,
I kind of know the story, but I'm not the old guard of Free Talk Live, and so I wasn't around when all of this went down.
Oh, she said went down. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I just know that something happened where I think your ex-wife, is that what it was? Your ex-wife had them stolen from you through lies.
That's how it went down. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they were trafficked in a you get married, and then after you get married, what do you do next? Well, you get divorced, right?
No.
I mean, you have a couple kids, then you get divorced.
Most people.
Well, you those people. You and Stu, you haven't done that yet. It's coming. Don't worry. And then you end up in court frequently, like most of the time. And then if one person has a bunch of money, like because they're doing the next dude that they're replacing their children's dad with, and he's got some money, then you spend his money on a lawyer, like $30,000, $40,000, well, in today's dollars, like, let's see, like $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, like that of your new designated F's money. He's got it. And you got, and if he's got it, you got it because you're the one with the vagina. So you definitely get the money. And then you use
Chinese
that money.
Mexican Space Agency?
Yes.
Helps you get that?
You use it. No, not that kind of a China. The other kind of a China, the one that you can make money with. Space agencies don't make money. They lose money. But actual vaginas, you can make money with one of those. So anyway,
I'm not sure what device you're referring to. Thanks for the call tonight, though, David. I don't know.
So, always a wild card
for
call.
For reference, there is no divorce coming between Lori and I. We have the best relationship in the entire planet. If you don't believe us, just call and challenge it. We'll demonstrate to you that we are, in fact, perfect for each other. We'll have to do a relationship talk live tonight. But not tonight. Thanks for listening. This has been Free Talk Live. Peace.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing. To be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of